much different time. You may have to move in a little bit. What is good, y'all? We are live. 90s till infinity Friday night. I am Alite.
I'm Riz the HHC, and we're back for another episode.
Yeah.
Back for the first time.
Back for the first time, literally what it is, because the very first episode that we did, we were using an app called StreamYard, which is a really cool app, but what it did was it created a lot of breaks in the audio.
Right.
And our very first episode had a lot of really cool stuff we talked about.
Definitely.
You know, our love for hip-hop and why we're in it. And I feel like it's only right that we do this episode properly so people can really understand what hip-hop means to us.
We're a well-oiled machine now.
So much better.
Yeah.
So much better. And it's great because I was thinking about that episode. I'm like, man, we talked about, kind of how hip-hop influenced us and where we ended up with it. But we never touched, there's certain things that I wish we touched on that we didn't, including the local Vancouver scene for hip-hop, which I think is important to mention.
Very important.
So we'll make sure we touch on that as well. But being that this is the birth month of hip-hop.
Yes, it is.
Unofficial date of inception for hip-hop, they're saying is August the 11th.
August the 11th.
The unofficial Cool Herc party in New York.
Infamous
party in New York. And the interesting thing is Cool Herc is Jamaican.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he's from Jamaica, and he comes from the era of how Jamaicans would do the party scenes, where the DJ would be the star.
Right.
And then every now and then you have a dude come on and just talk some smack, and then it would go from there. So essentially, he brought that with him from Jamaica to New York and introduced that style of party to New York City, and then it birthed.
I remember even the DJ element of it, but I didn't know where it kind of met with the MCing part.
Yeah.
So was there a rhyming element to it? Even
initially there wasn't. Initially the MC was just to hype up the DJ.
Right.
That's my man's on the ones and twos. Make some noise for my man's on the ones and twos, and then slowly it started to evolve.
Right.
And then when it started to evolve, there were some real innovative people that would grab the microphone, like throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Kind of like these party chants that people would pick up. But that's really the inception of how the MC started to infiltrate hip hop.
Oh, we had guys like Five Fat Freddy, Dougie Fresh.
Yes.
Who kind of added
Mike Masters.
Yeah. DJ Cool.
And then it evolved to a point where the artist became bigger than the DJ.
Bigger than the DJ.
Yeah. And I think for me, I think it was interesting that one of the moments that I remembered seeing a group that had a name with the DJ's name being the front runner, and the MCs being the crew, like Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. But when we saw the video for the message, Melly Mel was the man.
Melly Mel was the man.
I wouldn't even have known who Grandmaster Flash was at the time, right?
Yeah.
So I think that really changed what the star factor was in hip hop.
Right.
Because that video was terrible.
It was on the stoop.
So it started off on the stoop.
Yeah.
They all had their outfits.
The leather tough guy jacket.
Yeah. And there was one guy in the back, part of the Furious Five.
We used to laugh like crying laughter.
So hard.
Watching that video.
Because there was one dude that was in the back, and as the music would change, he would just...
It was that 70s, late, early 80s, really bad video editing.
And one of the worst parts was, I don't even remember this part, this is the part that always made us laugh. At the very end of the video, cops pull up. And the cops like, get in the car, get in the car.
Something skips.
You know what? So the police car stops, and then the skid sound happens.
And we kept on rewinding it all the time. And we didn't even take the song very seriously.
We didn't.
We didn't appreciate it for what it was because we were listening to what was current.
We were kids.
And we didn't give a shit about it.
Well, and the wild thing is, I revisit that song often now.
Oh, okay.
Because the storytelling is phenomenal.
It is. It paints a picture.
And this is, to me, the most valuable thing about hip-hop is what you can say. Because when you think about the message, broken glass, everywhere, people pissing on the street, they just don't care. Can't take the smell, can't take the noise, got no money, to move out, I guess I got no choice.
It's bars.
Right. And it's highlighting societal issues, right?
Right.
He even talks about in the second verse, or the third verse, about going to jail and becoming someone's bitch in jail.
Right.
And then coming back out into the streets and not knowing who you are anymore.
You really analyzed the song.
I went in.
Yeah.
I went in on the song. And it really made me realize, like, the power of the words.
It's true.
Were really instrumental, because when you go back to Sugar Hill Gang, which I guess would be the first commercial success in hip hop.
Yeah.
They weren't really saying anything.
I mean, I can't name.
Yeah, they were just having fun. Hip Huh?
It was more party.
Don't stop.
Right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
more party rap.
It was party rap, and it was very deliberate about naming who they were.
Yeah,
Right?
they were like the kid and play of that time.
Big time.
Right?
Big time. And it obviously became a massive hit.
But you need that too, right? You can't just have conscious rap.
Yeah.
Like what's the famous Jay-Z line about Common?
Oh yeah.
You know it.
Truthfully, I want to rhyme like common sense, but I did 5 mil. I've been rhyming like common
There
sense.
you go.
Unreal.
Right?
And
You need a little bit of everything.
yeah, and the cool thing
Yeah.
is, I think the cool thing about that era of hip hop, even the party tracks like Curtis Blow with White Lines,
Curtis Blow.
he's rapping about cocaine, Houdini, right? Rapping about these really
Yeah.
serious topics,
Yeah.
but they're party songs.
They are.
Like White Lines is about cocaine. It's a
Right.
party song.
Right.
Right. So I think that era of hip hop did it in a very different way.
It wasn't so dark.
Yeah.
Right? The topics were dark, but the music and the way they expressed it wasn't
Yeah.
dark.
Well, because the cadence still had a little bit of goofiness to it.
Yes.
There's still that nursery
A
rhyme
little bit
feel.
of too many break, like
Yeah,
was
yeah.
no-
There was no multi-syllable patterns,
Right,
none of those
right,
things.
right,
It was all
right.
very simplistic. And it also made it really easy to rap along to.
yes, it
Which
did.
is what-
And to remember the lyrics.
Yes. And I think that's kind of what set that generation up to be like, wordplay is something that had to evolve. It had
Definitely.
to. It had to go somewhere.
Definitely.
Because where they were at, it was only a matter of time before like a Rakim came and
Yes.
fucked the whole game up.
And took it to the next level.
And I remember like, it sucks because when Rakim was popping, late 80s, early 90s,
87, 88.
we were kids,
Yeah.
like 10, 11, 12, 13 years
I wasn't
old.
even listening to rap
We
then.
wouldn't have even known Rakim existed.
No.
But when I think the first time Rakim came into our world, I think you bought his album, was it the Seventh Letter or something like that?
The 18th, I think the 18th,
18th letter.
Yeah,
For
that's right.
R, right?
For R.
And I think that's the first time and I didn't even know why you bought it.
I like the single that he released, which was what was it?
I know what you're talking about.
Dun, 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 dun.
The return of the
The
wild
right,
found man
and
can
I
do man
loved
can hit
the
big
beat
dog
just
to
made
adapt
me-
to this.
And that's when we got BET. So now we got to see the videos. It was a big deal, man.
And again,
And
for
we got to
those,
see the commercials, and it wasn't now just picking randomly from the source magazine.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that we could actually hear the song
Yeah.
and be like, hey, I want to buy that.
and that's crazy that the fact that it was BET that introduced us to that world.
BET was a monster.
Game changer for us.
I remember when I used to go on road trips with my parents, and we used to go to States all the time. My dad loved the States. I used to remember just sitting in the hotel and right away changing the channel to BT so I could watch videos. Because we were limited in Canada, in Vancouver. We only had Much Music. They only
Yeah.
had one hip hop show, Rap City. Shout out to Rap City. Various
Michael Williams.
Michael Williams was the first one, maybe.
Master T.
Did Master D? I thought he
No,
did
he
the
did.
vibe.
He did the vibe, but he did extend the mix.
Extend the mix, and then he got changed to the mix.
Right.
Right. There was a guy named Junior something. There was a guy named Junior. Remember bald
right,
head guy?
right.
He did Rhapsody for a bit.
Erica M never did.
Erica,
No.
no. But Rhapsody was dope because that was kind of our that was our holy grail in regards to seeing any type of hip hop videos. But the problem was, and I don't even know if they do that now because I don't think they even show videos anymore. But you remember that the CRTC had a point where they had to show X amount of Canadian content.
Yes.
So
It's still the
Rhapsody-
case.
It's still the case on
Yeah.
radio too, right?
Yeah.
So if you watched Rhapsody, it was only a half an hour show. They probably
Yeah.
showed 5 videos.
Yeah.
2 would be Canadian content.
Yeah.
So we would get gypped because I mean now we appreciate some of those Canadian rappers,
Yeah,
but back
yeah.
then we didn't want to see.
There was some really bad stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was some really bad stuff shot on like really poor
We
quality
wanted
cameras.
to watch just all of the American guys.
Well, because that's what was exciting.
that's all we knew.
Yeah, and at that time, Canadian hip hop wasn't really advanced.
It wasn't.
They weren't really breaking any boundaries.
It wasn't.
And this is
It wasn't
this,
even getting played on the radio.
No, not until Maestro came,
Yeah,
And-
and that was just because that one song was a hit.
dropped the needle.
Nothing else was getting
Let
played
your
on
backbone
this.
slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's crazy because like leading up to that, there were really no standout Canadian hip hop artists. We had tons of DJs. A
Yeah.
lot of Canadian hip hop
That's
DJs.
true. That's actually
whether
really-
it's DJ Alibaba, DJ Tretch,
Flip Out.
Earl the Pearl,
Yeah,
Flip Out,
yeah.
DJ Paul. Like we have had tons
That's
of
true.
DJs. I know we're leaving a lot out because Vancouver's legacy for DJs is crazy.
Maximus Clean.
Maximus Clean, OG of the game. We had tons of
102.7.
DJs that brought and introduced a lot of hip hop to us. But again, because of the Canadian content specification, there were tons of artists that we just never got access to.
That's right.
And Rhapsody was cool because we got glimpses of it.
Yeah. But we were always yearning for more.
Yeah, so like Rhapsody, I remember when the Inception, they would play videos like Walk This Way with Aerosmith and Run DMC. That was a big one they showed a lot.
Yeah.
Mr. Metro.
I remember Mr.
He was another Canadian artist. And again, that song they played ad nauseum.
I remember that.
Mr. Metro, hey, hey. It was really bad. But it became a massive hit for some weird reason. It's kind of like Return of the Mac. No rhyme or reason for why it's good.
That's the best comparison to it.
Because it's not a good song.
It's not.
So our kind of like
thought that was rap.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
no, and that's another problem. What they considered hip hop, right?
It's these executives behind these doors, closed doors, who think they know the culture and they know the music and they have no idea.
And the interesting thing about that is you mentioned it before we started the pod. We were talking about our introductions to hip hop,
right?
And you mentioned BBD.
Yeah,
Poison,
because they rapped,
and they showed Poison on Rhapsody.
They did.
Poison is an R&B song.
It is,
right?
But when you listen to it, there's rap elements to it.
Yeah, Michael Bivins is brilliant.
They're not singing some of that song.
No,
they're kind of rapping.
Almost all the verses are rapped.
Yeah,
yeah. The hook is the singing.
The hook is the singing. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think BBD gets enough credit for introducing that into hip hop.
That hip hop element
with the R&B hooks,
right?
Because up until that point,
that's so true.
Most hooks were scratches.
That's very
or
true.
chants.
It's funny because Mary J. Blige gets a lot of hip hop soul, but BBD doesn't.
And they set it off,
right?
Because everyone I'm sure has heard Poison. If you haven't, I just don't know where you've been.
You were just born.
Because not only is it a massive song from the '90s, but it's been reintroduced on TikTok
a million times
and became super viral again.
I've seen office parties, right, where they shouldn't be playing Poison, and everybody when that song comes on, it's
the second it's driving me.
Everybody knows.
Everybody.
You can put the mic and the crowd.
Everybody
knows the lyric. Yeah, it's just one of those universally accepted hip hop.
It's a masterpiece.
Soul, whatever you
masterpiece of the song.
It's a masterpiece. Yeah.
And
it is.
So outside of BBD, what would you say would be your first introduction into hip hop?
That's a good question. So I was fortunate enough that both of my parents were really into music, and not just music from a cultural standpoint, which would be like Indian based or Bollywood. There's nothing wrong with that. But my dad was a big rock and roll fan. He used to listen to a lot of like Western, like Johnny Horton and Johnny Cash and Elvis and Motown. And my mom used to listen to like Petula Clark and Boney M.
Sheesh.
So it was kind of at that time I would just listen to that, and once in a while you like it. Some of the stuff was good, but hip hop. I remember my own purchase of anything was Michael Jackson's Bad tape, because The Way You Make Me Feel. That was just on repeat.
Great song.
And Paula Abdul's first album, because I like Straight Up. Remember Straight Up?
Great song.
I bought the vinyl. So I was kind of like almost like a pop-ish, and I still love pop, but yeah, and then so hip hop in the 80s wasn't in my wasn't on my radar, and then 1990 came along and things changed, and then grade 6, and then people were buying and then that's when Poison came out, and my friends were buying these tape. I don't know if some of you remember the cassette singles, the singles of the songs. And I remember listening to Poison, and then MC Hammer was right.
Yeah, Hammer
that
was
whole
huge. Hammer don't hurt him.
And then Vanilla Ice came. I didn't really listen to Ice Ice Baby, but I mean it was big. It was there. And then the movies, and then like Boys in the Hood, and then you hear all the songs in the movie. So I would say like that, like BBD, MC Hammer, and then Boys in the Hood soundtrack, which if you remember Columbia House.
Yeah, of course.
Where we used to.
Of course. I mean, you got to give them an idea of what Columbia House.
BMG. So it was basically a
like a music Ponzi scheme
program where you would get these kind of flyers in the newspaper or just randomly, and it was legitimate. It was Sony Columbia. So any artist that was on the Columbia label, doesn't matter what genre. You would get this pamphlet, and it would list all the CDs, and it would say 8 CDs for $0.01, and it was true.
1 penny.
It was true. It only cost you a penny, but then the fine print, you have to buy another 10 CDs, at full boat. And
Yes.
at that time, we're talking like 30 bucks CD.
Unless they
And-
were in the Billboard Top 100.
Right.
Then
Then
it
it
would
might be
be
like,
like
20.
Yeah, yeah.
And no parent, let alone Fijian parents, would drop $20 on a CD times 10.
Hell
That's
no.
not happening. You're getting
Hell
slapped.
no.
So, but we did it. What we would do is we would order the CDs, pay the stupid penny, and not pay the and just.
But they still send you the music.
They would.
They would still send you your original 10 CD order
Correct.
for a penny.
Yep.
And I guess
That's very true.
that really makes sense. That's kind of how the
that,
jump off happened.
That was my first access to getting CDs because I didn't have money.
Yeah, yeah.
Grade 6 and grade 7.
Yeah.
Who's gonna buy? My parents are not buying me CDs.
And I had an older brother who was smart and would just sign up on everybody else's
He
name.
mastered it.
Yeah, he started
mastered
making
it.
up names.
Well, he was the one that showed us that it could be done.
He was the Bernie Madoff of Columbia House.
And
He exploited the shit out of the system.
And he made off with a lot of albums.
Oh man, at least 100.
Easily.
Yeah, and then I think
He used to have to buy CD racks.
towers, CD towers.
Throwback to some of you remember that.
Yeah, and I
That
mean,
was
for
crazy.
people listening right now, and they're hearing all these terms
Yeah, they don't
and
know
things.
what we're talking
But you could Google these things, and you'll be
can.
shocked
We're
at
not
what you
that
see.
old.
Yeah,
Yeah, come on.
and I mean, based on the stats,
Yeah.
our listener base is 25 to 45. So some of them will have seen
Right.
it. Some of them know they have parents that have seen
And
it.
you know what? You assholes, you guys are all back into vinyls. So if you're going back into vinyls, you should definitely know what cassettes and CDs are, right? Come on.
Yes, and
And
it,
everybody's on vinyls nuts now.
well, vinyl's one of those yuppie trends.
So yeah.
I'm a sophisticated music
Right.
listener.
I need and you can't just buy any kind of record player. You have to buy like a $700 record player because it plays it better. And then you got to get these stupid douchebag headphones because now you're a
Because only you can
audiophile.
listen. Yeah,
now
of
you're
course.
an audiophile.
I need to hear all the
yeah, and
snares
you
and
gotta
the hi
have
hats.
your wine and then sit. You're like, shut the fuck up.
I'm a vinyl collector.
I think one time I was, but I think I would definitely go back. But it's not cheap.
Dude,
Shit ain't cheap.
At least $30 each.
I invested a lot of money in CDs, man.
A lot.
So I think I get a pass on the.
How
vinyl.
many at your peak collection size?
Yeah.
How many do you think you had?
Oh, that's a bit. I'm gonna say about.
it's like a warehouse.
I think there was one time where I almost did an audit.
I think so.
Yeah, but I'm gonna safely say I don't think I hit 1,000, but it was in the 500 to 600 range.
Holy
Yeah,
shit!
yeah, it was a lot. Man.
More than I thought.
It was a lot.
You know how much space that takes up?
You remember? I had all those towers.
Yeah.
and it was just. Yeah,
That's
man.
a lot. And
Yeah.
see, that's
Yeah.
not just a love for the music, but a love for the culture because
Yeah,
you know,
it's true.
I feel like a lot of people call themselves hip hop fans,
Right.
And are fans of the music, which is obviously a part of the culture.
Right.
But to say that you're an appreciator of hip hop culture goes much deeper than that, right? You have to appreciate the art of graffiti.
Yes.
You gotta appreciate the art of b-boy.
Yes.
You gotta appreciate the art of DJing.
Yep.
The MC, and then beatboxing.
The clothing.
Yeah, the fashion
style,
associated with it,
everything. The lingo.
the swagger,
Right.
And it's funny because I was watching one of the originators talk about hip hop, and instead of beatboxing being the fifth element, he said knowledge was the fifth element, and I think that's brilliant because not many music genres
Right.
get called a culture.
That's very true.
Like heavy metal is not considered a culture.
Nope.
It's a music.
It's a
Right?
type of
Pop
music.
is a music.
That's right.
All of these other things are music, but hip hop,
I mean, there's pop culture, but there's no reverence between
pop
the two.
culture includes movies.
It's pop is in popular.
Exactly.
It's different. than
Exactly.
Pop music.
But hip hop,
That's very
at its
true.
essence, is a culture.
And to add to that, have you noticed like when you compare even now hip hop to R&B, pop, country western, rock, alternative, jazz, they all basically have, for the most part, the same style of music. But hip hop has different subgenres.
Yeah. Well, and see,
Like
here's
when you listen to jazz,
Mm-hmm.
you can listen to 20 jazz albums. They all sound like jazz, right? At the end of the day.
yeah, unless it's your niche and you're a real appreciator.
Of course.
To the
But-
layman,
but
it's just
the
the
basic
same.
sound. But hip hop,
Yeah.
hip hop can sound very different.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like UK hip hop, down south hip hop,
Yep.
East Coast, West Coast. Like,
Yep.
there's differential. Like, it's very different.
Yeah, and it's
Which is
interesting
cool.
because I was thinking we would get to this part of the conversation a little bit later, but that's a gift and a curse. Because what ends up happening is people use hip hop as a prop. Right?
Yeah.
And that's the part to me, like when I see it, I get very frustrated
that's
because, like, and when I say a prop, I mean, like, you know, in a stupid Target commercial.
It's true.
Right? Like you're selling cereal.
It's
But-
it's become very commercial.
Yeah, but you need a hip hop beat to
Yeah.
sell your cereal.
Yeah.
Like to me, when I see stuff like that, I'm like, ah, you motherfuckers.
Or when you see celebrities trying to rap, it's really cringe.
Yeah.
'Cause it's like, what?
To be honest-
are you doing it because you really like the music, or you're just doing it because it's a trend?
To be honest, seeing anybody rap that's not a rapper is cringe. And people do this. So I can say I've been a performing hip hop artist for
20
at least 20 years. At least 20 years. I would say in my early 20s I was just battling. I wasn't doing my own
but
music.
I think you gotta give yourself credit. I think it's maybe like 25 years.
Yeah, I would say
Almost.
my own music, I would say 20 years.
Okay.
On the battle circuit, 25. So the thing is for me, the performance part of hip hop, embracing that side of it to me,
Yeah.
is more valuable than just someone rhyming words, right?
Right.
And people, let's see who just tuned in. Tom Holland is pretty dope though. Oh, what up, Battle Cat? So yeah, the thing is like, let's get this bubble off. The thing is for me, I've had people try to use me as a prop. Right?
Also-
Like, so I'll be at a party or whatever.
Yeah.
I'd be like, yo, man, rap, do freestyle. You know, it's like a dance, monkey dance kind of thing.
Right.
And the thing is for me, like, I enjoy it. I enjoy performing. I enjoy freestyling. So for the most part, I'll indulge people if I fuck with them. Right? But then there's people that...
Because you can tell the intentions, right?
For sure,
If someone just wants to literally see you and your talent,
Yeah.
it's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're just, like you said, a prop,
Yeah.
you're just the entertainment of the night.
For sure. And I think people
That's
start
crazy.
using hip hop like that so often they don't even think about it. Like,
Oh, definitely.
I was at so I did a series last year. And
series.
yeah, TV series. And on the set there were like 7 of us, we were all hostages.
Okay.
And we were so behind the scenes we had like our own green room and we were
Right.
just chilling and stuff. And then when I'm by myself and there's no noise, I'll beatbox. It's just automatic. I don't even think about it. Or
Yeah.
I'll sing something.
Yeah.
It's just I just make sounds.
Yeah.
And I'm doing that, and someone's like, "Oh, you know, are you an artist or whatever?" A conversation started, and then I said I'm a hip hop artist, and then one of the people there who is not a rapper and doesn't rap said, "Oh, I always thought I could rap," and I was like, "Okay,
I always thought I could rap. Like, just listening to that term makes me angry.
show me."
What does that even mean?
And I said, "Show me," and then I'll show you how to rap. So I waited. There's like 7 of us. Not everyone's looking at this person,
Right.
and we're waiting, and we're waiting, and then they tried. They actually tried, and they rhymed like 3 words, and then that was it. It
Oh,
was
great.
over, right? And then I'm like, okay, now let me show you how to really rap.
Right.
And then I went in, and it was like crazy and stuff. But the thing is, like for me, the thought that you could just do that not only diminishes the culture, but it also enables a lot of the garbage that started permeating hip hop in the past like 10 years.
Yeah,
Everyone
anybody
thought
can
they'd
rap.
become a rapper.
That statement devalues the skill set behind hip hop. Like, would anybody say, "Oh, if you're an architect, I always thought I could be an architect." Like, you wouldn't say that for that.
I'm good with Legos.
So
I could probably
like,
build a
like,
house.
to me, hip hop is just as important as any kind of job.
Agreed.
It's a skill. It's a job.
Yeah, 100% agree.
So when someone says that,
Yeah.
that would piss me off.
Yeah, so I see a lot of that
Or
over the
I
years.
think I could rap. Like,
And the thing is, like, the cool thing is because people know, like, if you follow me on social media and stuff, you know that I talk a lot of shit. And you know, chances are, if you say some stupid shit around me, I'm gonna check you on it.
And
So
make
people,
sure to follow.
so people don't really say stupid shit around me.
Right,
Like,
because
they
they
kind
know
of
you're
like,
gonna put them in check.
yeah,
real
like
quick.
you're gonna look like a clown. So
Right.
at least in that way, I've been lucky. But yeah, the whole prop thing, and I get it. It's commercial culture. It's global culture. A part of me will always hold it close as a culture of the resistance.
Right.
A voice for the oppressed, a
100%.
voice for the marginalized.
Yep.
You know, like in some parts of the world, hip hop was used to overturn governments.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So I think the impact should be viewed in a much larger capacity. And it's crazy because I wasn't expecting to get to this part of the conversation until much later in the podcast. But I guess it's kind of cool that we can bounce back and forth like this.
That's what the show's about.
Yeah, so originally we were talking about our initial welcomes into hip hop, and I always like to talk about the song because it really changed my perspective on what is a love song.
So what was your introduction?
So similarly to you, my initial influences were my parents, a lot of
Yeah,
Bollywood.
right.
My dad liked MJ and Stevie and stuff,
Yeah.
so I got a lot of Motown influence.
Yes.
So the R&B sensibilities were always there. And then I remember one of my cousins came from Australia. His name is Raheem, and he had we would say Rahim, but Raheem.
But if you're in juice, it's right.
Rahim makes sense. So he came from Australia, and he had a cassette tape, LL Cool J cassette tape. And I remember he kind of like was showing me and my brother, and we were like, "What the hell?
So
What's
we're
LL
talking like
Cool J?"
1990.
This is
earlier than
80. No, yeah, I'd probably say 90.
Okay.
I'd probably say 90.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Raheem came when I was like 11, and
Yeah, because we were in grade 7 when we were 12.
yeah,
So yeah, so you were exposed to it a little bit earlier than I
yeah.
was.
So I was supposed to a little bit early. I still didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
When I heard LL Cool J, in my mind, for some reason I thought a white guy. So he pulled out the cassette, shows because back in the day the cassette you could pull the little booklet out and
The
you could
insert.
open it up and see all the pictures and the
Yeah.
thing. And like, oh, this guy's like he was jacked, the big
And
gold
the
chain and shit, and the
Was
Kangos,
he was wearing the bucket
the red
hat,
the red
right?
bucket, the red Kango
Right,
bucket,
Right.
and he was a swole like a superhero.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, this is crazy. So like initially when you look at him, you think, oh, he's gonna be aggressive.
Intimidating.
Yeah, because he's this big
100%.
dude. So we're sitting there, and like I don't remember a lot of moments listening to that album, but the one moment I do remember was "I Need Love,"
Right.
and something about that boom, 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 sonically,
Yeah.
like right now you could introduce that beat into hip hop, and people would say like, "Oh shit."
It hits in a very different way.
Yeah, sonically it's like really, really solid, and then
And it still holds up.
yeah, and I remember this part is just so much fun to rap. So he starts off the song, when I'm alone in my room, sometimes I stare at the wall, and in the back of my mind, I hear my conscience call, telling me I need a girl who's sweet as a dove. For the first time in my life, I see I need love. And the thing is, the pattern is really advanced
It is advanced.
for this time in hip hop. And LL's another one that doesn't get the credit he deserves.
And just to put this in perspective, the lyrics you just heard is from a rapper that Eminem bows down to.
Yeah.
So you guys might think, oh, this is kind of lovey-dovey. Well, if you think Eminem's lovey-dovey, you got another thing. I mean, this is the level at where LL Cool J's at.
Yeah, and
he can make a love song sound hip hop. Like this was, it was essentially a love song,
he's saying I need love.
and he even did it in a different tone.
Very different. Really
Like,
hushed
when I was
tone.
introduced to LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out. One of my friends bought the CD, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what you expect from that album cover. But you hear this, and his tone is very different, and
yeah.
that's when you knew that, oh, you could do this.
He's different.
You could change it up.
He's different.
He's different.
And to this day,
Yeah.
LL Cool J looks like the same
He really
guy
does,
in that
yeah.
album cover from '88.
He does.
Who did an incredible job of longevity.
Yes.
One of the shining examples of hip hop.
He's always
Culture.
been an advocate
Always,
for hip hop.
always, and even now he does the Rock the Boat
Rock the
cruises,
Bells, yeah,
the Rock the
yeah,
Bell
yeah,
cruises,
yeah.
and he takes a whole bunch of legacy
Yes,
artists with
concerts,
him,
yeah.
and it's amazing to watch the come up. But for me, this thing about this big dude who's saying I need love, the juxtaposition of that at that age, I remember thinking, this is really different. This is really cool. Like
Right.
this is not what we're used to seeing. And then after that, there was nothing. There was no more hip hop
Right.
because we were kids.
Right.
And then my older brother.
He was listening to a lot of like alternative.
Yeah, my older brother listened
Not
to like,
alternative,
Depeche
but
Mode.
At that time, it was like
That was considered alternative.
rock, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Depeche Mode, Duran Duran, Tears for Fears, a lot of that kind of weird
right.
white boy rock.
Right, New Order.
And that never sit right with me. Like MJ was everything.
Me
Even
too,
then,
yeah.
the bad.
I didn't understand it then. I understand it now.
Sure.
But no, back then, Duran Duran and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It didn't click to me.
So I was again. I fell back into the same pop thing because
Yeah.
what
else
you
is it?
have access to is what you digest.
Right.
Right. And then Ash You've got hit by NWA.
Right.
And then he passed that down. And then at that point, we took off.
The NWA, once you caught on to the NWA train, you weren't getting off.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was
Yeah, once you hear an artist say "fuck the police,"
straight out of Compton.
yeah,
And
those
just
three
everything
words,
that they
man.
did.
those three words, the fact that it's synonymous today in such an incredibly powerful way, and like I think the songs we don't give credit to, like Dope Man,
100 Miles of Running.
like okay, so Ice Cube wrote
Boys
this
in the
song. This song goes back to what? Dope Man goes back to '88.
It was on the straight off. It's straight off the. Yeah, it was from the Straight Outta Compton album. So
And-
it would have been 88, 89.
And for people that
Oh,
don't,
88.
and
Yeah,
for
you're
people
right.
that don't know, that only know Ice Cube from essentially the movies.
Yeah, a lot of you probably know him from Boys in the Hood. That's when he started being like, oh, this is.
And he's the most.
You don't realize.
He's
that.
probably
You
one of the
don't know
most prolific writers in the history of the art form, as far as
that. Hands down.
the impact of his ghostwriting.
Down.
Right?
And when probably lyricist, right?
Lyricist for sure.
Yeah, but writers for sure. Because you're right. He didn't just write for himself. He wrote for everybody.
Easy. He was the biggest beneficiary
He
of
wrote
his
for Dre.
writing.
Ren wrote a lot of his stuff, so I don't know how much he wrote for Ren, but
Mm.
he wrote for Dre. He wrote for Easy, and when you listen to their raps, you're like, what the hell?
And here's the crazy thing. So this song "Dope Man,"
Was he like the first ghostwriter in hip hop?
I would say so.
Because who was ghostwriting before him?
No, nobody in this way.
Not really.
No, it's
DOC
actually
came after.
yeah. This is actually '87.
There you go.
And the crazy thing about this song is, so my kids are very lucky. They've been exposed to great music from a very young age. So now as they're adults, a lot of that music
Well, you
stays.
made it a point to do that.
Absolutely enforced it.
So, yeah.
So my daughter's in her room listening to music, and I can kind of hear her like mumbling along some music. I'm like, what the hell? And these are the lyrics that she's rapping, okay? It was once said by a man who couldn't quit. Dope man, please can I have another hit? The dope man said, "Click, I don't give a shit if your girl kneeling down and suck my dick." And I know that's horrible. But this is cinema.
It is.
This is cinema and lyrics. And I'm listening to my daughter rap, and
It's
I'm
the
like,
theater of the mind.
well said. Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And I can hear my daughter rap, and I'm just like, wow. 17-year-old in 2025. Rapping the song from 1987. That's almost
It's a-
40
It's a
years.
beautiful thing.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful
so-
thing for someone like me and you because it's preserved.
Yes.
Like it's gonna be passed down again.
It's gonna get passed down.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you can't say that for a lot of music.
So would you say
Or a
that?
lot of songs.
Would you say that your exposure to NWA was Ashif as well?
Yes, and then Ashif, and then a friend of mine, a good friend of mine at the time, who lived across the street. His older brother, he had two older brothers, and one of his older brothers was really into hip hop, and he was like Ashif's age.
Right.
So he was about 3 years older. So he would, and he had all the CDs. So he would, and they were big Eazy-E fans.
This is Daryl?
Daryl, R.I.P.
R.I.P.
So yeah, he had an NWA, and then he had Eazy-E albums, and then you just listening like, what is this? Because it was taboo, right? Listening
Yeah.
to all that because we didn't listen to explicit lyrics.
Seeing it in movies is different.
It's very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But hearing it, and it was just like, what? So gangster rap, my I think our introduction to gangster rap was NWA and all the groups and all the members of NWA.
Yes.
That was the starting point.
And
And then from there, it was the floodgates open.
do you think that floodgate opening desensitized people going forward to what music could feel like?
Desensitize the lyrics, you mean?
Yeah, like desensitize the listener because of what you're being exposed to. Like, do certain topics,
Yeah.
do certain words just become like, even though they're very heavy topics.
See the topics, as bold as they were, I didn't relate to the topics back then. I can't lie and say I gave a
Right.
shit about fuck the police.
Right.
I didn't even know. I just thought, oh, that's funny. I just listened to the song.
Right.
Now I'm going back and be like, wow, that was a political statement.
Yeah, yeah.
But back then, I wasn't. I'm not. What am I mean, I'm sure some of you are gonna sit there in line and be like, yeah, I was listening to Public Enemy, Rebel Without a
Fight
Pause.
the power.
I was fighting. No, you weren't. You were listening to the music. The music was good. The rapping was, and that's it. It kind of ended right there.
And the interesting thing is about this.
I mean, that's like, 'cause I'm sure some of you maybe took it to another level. Maybe you're highly intelligent, or maybe you're just so, uh, you know, evolved. But no, I took it at face value.
So
It's just gangster rap, man.
so here's the interesting
Bunch
thing.
of, bunch of guys swearing, rhyming, and it's great. That's how I looked at it.
So I got hit a little bit different.
Yeah.
And the only reason why is because your pops. He always put us on game. Like he always put us on game and what the music meant and like what mattered about the music. Like I remember very vaguely in your boundary house,
Yeah.
where the place where we would kick it,
Yeah.
there was like a little area where he had his
boundary room at
weights,
the
where he had his weights set up.
That's right.
And I remember one time he was downstairs, he was just showing off because he had big ass biceps, and he's showing off his biceps. We were just kind of laughing and joking about stuff.
Right.
And he brought up Michael Jackson. So I don't know if he was playing. So something happened about Michael Jackson. And we were kids. We were probably like 13, 14.
Right.
And he mentioned Quincy Jones as the reason why Michael Jackson's great.
Oh wow.
And we were, and I
Can't believe you remember.
don't remember.
That's crazy.
Well, the thing is, I don't remember what it meant.
Yeah.
All I knew was Michael Jackson was everything.
Yes.
So if someone's responsible for Michael Jackson, he must have been like, really,
Even
like the
better,
real deal.
Right.
But we didn't have internet.
No.
I couldn't go and Google what Quincy Jones or who
Had
he
no idea.
was.
Had no idea.
It wouldn't have
It
been
was just a
available. It wouldn't have been available in the libraries in Vancouver, anyways.
No. How would you even look it up?
You had no idea.
It's not like he didn't have an autobiography. At
Didn't
that
have
point. He
books.
was still young.
Yeah, there would have been none of that.
Yeah.
So I remember thinking. I remember the idea opening up that whatever you're seeing, there's more than that.
Right.
Like there's always more. So pay more attention.
Right.
Because there's always more. So when I heard "fuck the police," I don't remember exactly what I was thinking, but I do remember thinking that this has never been done before.
Right.
There must be something important about this.
Oh wow.
Like
So you-
there's got to be a value to
you were
this.
a lot more involved. Than
Well,
I
because
was.
nothing like this has ever been
That's
done
impressive.
in music. Well,
Yeah.
think about it.
But I mean, you always were like that. You kind of took things and you kind of peeled them a little.
Well, because it's because of our elders,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
your pops was always big on that. My pops was always,
Yeah.
mad at Whitey, like those kind of ideas were introduced to us when we were young. So I always there was always something more that I was trying to look for.
Right.
So I remember thinking this is gonna be something that because you gotta, dude. When we were kids, what was playing on the radio?
At
Bon
that time,
Jovi.
yeah.
Bon Jovi was huge.
Bon Jovi,
Like, Madonna was massive.
Michael Jackson,
Cyndi Lauper, like
Cyndi Lauper.
all of these pop artists, and the music was very plain, very plain. And when I say plain, I mean nothing controversial.
Not at all.
Think about that
Not at
song
all.
"Living on a Prayer," right?
Yeah.
It's a very emotional, uplifting song. There's nothing mean or powerful in it.
Right.
Sure, the melodies and stuff are powerful, but there's nothing. It's vanilla.
Yeah, I think the only artist that really rocked the boat a little bit and during that time was like a prayer.
Yes.
Remember Madonna? 'Cause the video was very
Yes.
taboo.
And even Papa Don't Preach.
Papa Don't Preach.
Madonna was one of
version,
those,
Which
yeah.
is a very poppy song, but the topic.
Yeah.
Is like, whoa.
Heavy.
And then George Michael with Freedom.
Yes.
Right. That's things like that.
Yeah.
But even that is still vanilla
And-
in compared to what hip hop was doing.
Well, and the crazy thing is, they were considered trailblazers.
Yeah.
They were considered like culture shifters.
Sure.
And NWA's over here saying "fuck the police,"
problem.
right? So that to me was like, oh, this means something.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, dude, there was no turning back.
No.
Yeah. Then we got flooded with West Coast music,
But
right?
I mean, it's funny you say that because when you look at NWA's trajectory, from their first album to their last album debuted at #1. So everybody was
Crazy.
finally understood
Yeah.
what was going on.
Yeah. And,
Right?
and people of
Hip
color,
hop wasn't just
Yeah.
No, hip hop was like, okay, this is the real
impactful.
Impactful.
And the thing is, on the
Yeah.
flip side of that, so Public Enemy, shout out to Chuck D, shout out to Flavor Flav, shout out to
Terminator
Professor
X.
Griff. I know he's not part of the crew anymore, but shout out to him as well, and the whole Public Enemy movement.
Definitely.
They're on the flip side with Fight the Power, right? And Chuck D, one of the most underrated voices in hip hop.
He's the elder statesman.
He is the preacher, the sophistication of his voice and the things he was
One of
saying.
the godfathers of hip hop,
Yeah.
of political hip hop.
Yes. And of being like
and just an advocate, another advocate,
and being
right?
a real MC. So he's got
Definitely.
he's got an online radio station.
Oh, wow.
Where he promotes a lot of artists that are independent. They can submit their music and get played.
And you've kind of interacted with
Yeah,
him,
we've had a couple
right?
of interactions. He
is dope.
retweeted my first music video, which I'll never forget.
Shout
Like
out
if
to
you're gonna get a
Chuck D.
retweet, Chuck D is the one to give it to you.
Definitely.
And it's a really important song. The song is called "Why Bother," and it's a song about apathy. People, trying to find ways to uplift themselves. So I know he appreciated the song too.
And they kind of reintroduced our generation to like the Black Panther music.
Yes.
Remember their videos very with the berets.
Yes,
berets,
a lot of
black.
Pan African representation.
Yeah. And then you had like Flavor Flav, who was just with the hat on the side. That was hip hop.
Yeah, boy.
I mean, I know people were making fun of it, but that for me, that was hip hop.
Game changer. Yeah,
That
dude,
was hip hop.
what Flavor Flav did.
Tracksuits.
Yeah, no.
Right? Like,
I don't think. Yeah, again, another dude that doesn't get his just due.
No.
He introduced a style to hip hop.
He did.
That nobody else was ready
He
for.
really did.
Nobody else would be willing to put themselves out there the way Flav did.
100%.
And he had his own dance moves and stuff. And people see him now, and he's kind of become
He's
like
become a
this.
character.
Yeah, he's become
Because
like.
of the reality stuff and
Yeah,
all that stuff.
he's become like the side mission guy.
He really
Every
has.
side mission you can do, Flav's doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
So true.
But so I'm looking at the song, and this is really important as well. Not just the song, but where the song hit, and it was a soundtrack.
That's right.
Spike Lee, Do the Right Thing. Song's called "Fight the Power." Chuck D starts the song off. 1989, the number, another summer. Sound of the fucking drummer. Music hitting your heart, cause I know you got soul, brothers and sisters. So it's not a traditional rhyme pattern, right? Chuck D is more like the preacher of hip hop. He's more
right.
trying to grab you by the neck and be like, listen, you stupid motherfucker.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one thing that hip hop did for culture that's also very underrepresented is the kicking off of soundtracks.
Yeah, that's true. They popularized soundtracks because my dad used to buy a lot of soundtracks in the 80s, but they were instrumental soundtracks.
Yes.
Like Superman, Rocky. It was more music.
Mm-hmm.
But other than Grease,
Which is a musical.
right, which is a musical,
Yeah.
right? I mean, how many soundtracks do you really remember from that generation? Dirty Dancing, maybe, like not many.
No.
Hip hop brought that element of like, oh wow, this is not just a soundtrack; it's an album.
Yeah.
It's a legitimate compilation of stellar work.
And for the most part, written for the movie.
100%.
So the themes were representative
Yeah.
of things happening in the
usually,
movie.
like 50 to 60% of the music was played in the movie,
And
for the most part.
they became massive
Or
hits.
at the end, the rolling credits.
Well, and the thing is, they became massive hits to the point where they drove the success of the movies.
They did.
Right? Like, I think Above the Rim was a recipient of that.
CB4.
Yeah, CB4 is huge
Juice.
for that. Yeah,
Boys in the
Juice.
Hood.
And the great thing is, it introduced a
Menace
lot of
Society,
the
and Exile.
mainstream fans of movies to hip hop artists they wouldn't have necessarily gotten access
And vice
to.
versa.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And I
that's
think
so true.
I think Rakim's a huge beneficiary of that.
Yeah.
From the Juice album, like
And
the
Big Daddy Kane.
amazing
Right.
impact.
Yeah.
A lot of artists kind of became crucial, and then in the later years, Trick Daddy became like
Yeah.
a huge contributor to soundtracks.
That's right.
And those artists that normally wouldn't cross over to mainstream. It's so funny as we talk about this. On his screen right now is "Don't Be a Menace."
Wow, that is so weird.
To South Central while drinking Juice in the Hood.
Literally just playing in the background.
Which was a massive soundtrack as well.
was.
And this is a part of the culture that I don't think hip hop artists and podcasts talk about enough, is the impact that it's had on movie culture.
It's true.
Because you almost had a subgenre of movies that were hip hop movies.
Yeah. Or ghetto movies. Or hood classics.
Yeah.
They call it hood classics.
And the cool thing about the hood classics, because that's really what they're classics
That's
for sure.
them, yeah.
It's kind of reflective of how the blaxploitation era captured a moment,
Right.
and the music as well. And that was the Isaac Hayes style soul music, the Barry White style.
Yeah.
They also pioneered that era.
That's right.
And in the 80s, it was really non-existent until like the late 80s when this genre of movie started.
And it's funny because you just said black exploitation. They just never got a fair shot of just being great movies.
Yeah, which is
It
so
was
unfair.
always had to be categorized as something.
Yes.
Right? Nobody
Yeah.
calls Western movies down south classics or cowboy classics. They call it classics, right?
Yeah.
But to add to that, I don't know if you heard. Just recently, you've heard of the Criterion collection of DVDs. They call it the Criterion
Yeah,
collection, where
yeah.
they re-release released a movie,
Yeah.
a very popular movie, and they gave it this whole
They immortalized it, kind of.
House Party just got
Oh
added to the
wow!
Criterion collection. So they have a special cover and this that, and it's added to their It's the first hood classic, or I think even urban movie to be added to the Criterion.
And this is
And that's so great.
And that's such a perfect reference to segue into hip hop's infiltration of commercialism.
Right.
Because what Kid and Play was able to do off of the House Party movies, cartoons,
Cereal.
the merchandise,
Dolls.
they were the first hip hop artists that were able to, unfortunately, not to their benefit, to the label's benefit, because it's not like they made a lot of money off that.
They even talk about that.
Yeah, they became the merch kings for hip hop. They
did.
became the first real breakthrough stars
True.
that crossed over in a way commercially that up until that point other artists weren't able to do. But afterwards, MC Hammer,
Right.
Hammer Time had a cartoon.
Vanilla Ice.
They
yeah.
eventually got commercialized.
Eventually.
But what Kid and Play was able to do, really incredibly talented artists.
Yeah.
They could dance.
They could dance. They could rap.
Charisma was crazy.
The movies were. I still watch them.
And the movies launched so many stars.
The comedians that came out of the House Party series, I mean, Bernie Mac, Chris Tucker,
Martin Lawrence.
the late great Pops.
Oh, yeah, Clarence Witherspoon.
No, Robin.
Oh, Robin Harris.
Robin Harris.
Yes. Yeah, he would play his Pops. Or
Right.
Kids Pop.
Kids Pops.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it just and it just brought so much talent. It brought TLC. Remember TLC? It was on 43.
And then
Like
Marcus Houston's.
Tachina Arnold.
Gina Arnold
was in it as well.
That's right.
was
And,
so fun.
and I like Gina. What was her name?
Pam.
Oh no, Pam.
Yeah, Tachina Arnold.
No,
The
I'm
light-skinned
not
one.
bad. Pam. Gina.
Gina, right.
Tisha Campbell.
Right.
She was fine.
She was in.
My wife and
she
my
was in
kids.
a house party. She's the one.
Yeah,
she's
she
what I'm
was-
talking about.
Right.
Kids love
Kids
interest.
love- yeah.
She was real fine back then.
Even on my wife and my kids, she was fine.
Yes.
Remember that?
Shout out to Tina Arnold. Much love to Tina Arnold.
No, not Tisha Arnold.
No. Why do I keep saying that?
No,
That's Pam.
That's Pam.
Yeah, she's dope too.
No,
Much
forget-
love to Tina Arnold.
Tisha
She's
Campbell.
dope. Tisha Campbell.
Thank you.
That's the one.
Thank you. You got it.
It's funny because
Campbell
you don't
is
smoke
fine.
weed, but because I smoke weed, I think you get a little
No,
bit
but
of the side.
because they're so synonymous.
Inseparable.
Pam and if they even hosted, I don't know if you saw a couple BET awards.
Yes.
And they were funny.
Yes.
But they actually came from the House Party camp, which was through. There was I forget. Herbie Lovebug.
Oh,
Remember?
yes.
He was the guy that I saw
Heavy
a
D,
documentary.
yeah.
He brought that whole collective together.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Kid and Play. They had a cartoon on NBC on Saturday daytime, which was like the ultimate
Crazy.
lineup with like Saved by
Prime
the Bell.
time. Yeah, that's
and they
wild.
So you're right. They brought that commercialism. Unfortunately, they didn't get rewarded for it.
Not at all. They're just dude.
But yeah, you're right. They were the first kind of them and maybe like Fresh Prince because of his TV
Yes.
show were
Yes.
actually accepted in everybody's household.
Yeah.
They weren't known as because even in the early '90s, some of you remember, people were banning rap albums. They were buying them in hordes and
Publicly
smashing
on the
them
news.
like Luke and Two Live Crew,
Yeah.
and all that stuff. They're calling it rap crap.
Yeah,
Competitions
yeah.
Were, remember Dukakis? Like he was going after hip hop and I mean it was just not a light.
No,
Music
no,
genre.
it was condemned heavily.
We really had to fight for it.
We did.
Right.
Yeah, fans
So-
really had to fight for it.
So when you see Kid and Play on Saturday morning cartoons, you're like, whoa, what's going on here? And then Vanilla Ice and say what you want, but he was rapping. You see him in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It's a hard one to swallow. I get it.
Oh yeah, that's right. The part, I think it was part 2.
It was part 2.
They had to go ninja, go ninja, go.
Yeah. And then MC Hammer's everywhere. Right? And then it's like, oh wow, it's shifting. Queen Latifah is now a rapper, and now she's on a popular show called Living Single.
Yes.
People were Ice Cube, less albums, more movies.
More movies, yeah. And made just this almost the same kind of impact
Oh.
on the movie side, maybe even bigger because of the Friday series.
100%.
And the thing is this is a really hard one, and I think it's really important to mention if we're talking about how hip hop affected us.
Yeah.
We have to talk about Will Smith
Oh,
and Will
definitely.
Smith's impact. And as corny as what some of the stuff he's done now is, it's funny because we have a WhatsApp chat with all the guys.
Yes.
And Will Smith unfortunately gets dragged a lot
Shout out
in the
to
chat.
gents only.
Shout out to gents only. And Will Smith gets dragged lately because of some of the raps.
He does.
Especially with the whole, I took the pin at the grenade before I threw it.
So do you want to give a backstory on what he kind of did lately?
So he had a freestyle.
I think he's having a breakdown. But anyways.
So he's got a bit of a freestyle series where he raps some of the lyrics to it. And I gave it an honest shot. I listened to the Will Smith album, front to back, gave it an honest shot.
Yeah,
and,
what did you think of it? I haven't heard.
It just doesn't sound like Will Smith to me.
I heard one song and it's very pop.
Yeah, so I know Joyner Lucas is a part of the camp that does the writing.
Yeah, they're very close.
It's very heavily Joyner Lucas influenced raps. And I would much rather have Will rap like Will rapped in the 80s.
100%.
It'll be loved. People will love it.
Even in the 90s.
In the 80s, 90s.
Getting jiggy with it. I love those songs. I still play those
Yeah,
songs.
they're super fun songs. And
Miami.
And they're great songs. And Will Smith knows how to rap. There's no denying the fact that he knows how to rap.
Will Smith
But he's got to rap like Will Smith.
He just can't rap like the way he's rapping.
Yeah, because it didn't feel like him.
He's getting angry. He's grinding his teeth. It's just, it's a little like I know artists evolve.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah.
They change, but he's at an age now where it's like nobody's believing.
You got to give.
We don't believe.
You got to give people what they love, and if you're not giving them what they love, then they're. And the thing is, like, so he did this.
Never that. He was never that.
He did this thing. I think it was in the UK where he did this thing.
The outdoor concert thingy.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, this generation is not gonna give you that if they don't know what you're rapping. So Will Smith can't do his new music to that generation.
Definitely not.
It's not gonna work. They want to hear in West Philadelphia, born and raised, and then they're with you.
Yep.
But
Men in
Will,
Black, they want to hear Summertime.
Yes, but Will wants to be taken seriously,
right,
as kind of like a new artist.
Yeah, he wants to do Jay-Z 444.
Yeah.
Like, I'm still relevant now. Buy my music. I mean, if Nas has released some gems.
Yeah.
But it's not overly popular. Let's face it.
But he's doing Nas.
And that's Nas.
But he's doing Nas.
He's so if Nas is not doing it at such a more successful level with the modern, because the only people that are really appreciating that music is our
hip-hop
group,
fans,
right?
Our hip-hop fans,
and not really young people.
And let's be fair, King's Disease got nominated for a Grammy.
It did.
So
which is great.
It's not like it's not like it's doing nothing.
No, but nobody's playing King's Disease in their 20s in their car.
Sure, it's not going to cross over unless you're like a real head.
Or you got that love for it. But so if guys like Nas who are established and rap like that are not having that kind of success anymore, and they're okay with it.
Yeah.
What is Will trying to do?
No.
Because he's trying to reinvent himself, or he's trying to be a tough guy because he's been kind of pigeonholed in this what happened with his wife.
Yeah,
He's trying to get his masculinity. I feel like there's an identity crisis.
For sure there is.
He's fighting a lot of different things right now, right?
For sure
and it's coming out in his music, but it's not coming out in a good way.
Well, the disadvantage,
in my opinion,
the disadvantage to that is now when people obviously he's gonna put out movies again,
right?
And there's gonna be a bit of a distaste,
of course,
from his real fans, because for me personally, Will Smith affected me in ways that I can't explain, as far as what it meant to have charisma. As far as what it meant to have presence in a room,
huge Will Smith.
How you presented yourself,
everything
in your style.
That was fly.
The reason that I'll tip my hat.
Yeah, the Jordans with the tongue out.
Yeah, all these little details culturally for us. Will Smith was a big part of that.
The guy, man.
Because we didn't have those people in our streets.
No,
we didn't have access to a lot of black people growing up. We didn't have a lot of access to urban culture growing up.
Nope.
We took what we saw and tried to make it as much ourselves as possible.
That's exactly right.
Which is now why the fashion part of it is so important, because I remember going through elementary school, we didn't have fashion. We wore stupid shit.
Yeah.
Whatever our parents bought us.
Like Nike was the coolest thing.
Yeah. Right. But what happened when we got to high school?
Oh, it was all about the shoes, the Jordans, the cross colors, the Carl Kanais, the fresh dives, and that was because we saw it, and now we could actually buy it because now stores were actually saying, "Oh, there's a market for this. We got to bring it in."
And Will Smith was a big part of that.
Jeans. Oh, he was a huge part
of that. And then
like you said, the hat, the sideways hat.
Yeah.
All it, the
earrings, and then the great thing is we would see these brands pop up. There was a store specifically that would sell a lot of this, and that was Inner City.
That's right. Shout out to Inner City.
Shout out to Inner
Station
City. I don't
Square,
know.
bottom level.
Yeah, you'd have to go around the staircase. It was kind of like it felt hip hop.
So the stairs going up to the cinema, right? It was right underneath there.
Yeah, you'd have to kind of go around behind the stairs, and it had like a really grimy feel. The posters were all hip hop.
That's right.
And the cool thing was those hip hop brands. I hate calling them hip hop brands. Those fashion brands use hip hop artists.
That's
to
right.
present their clothing.
I guess now you'd call it streetwear.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
That's what it is now. It's evolved to streetwear.
So we got to see like Pac. Wearing Kanai.
That's right.
And it made it so much cooler that you get to see like, real artists. So we would go to Inner City. We would spend a shit ton of money on clothes because it was expensive as fuck.
It was expensive.
And back then, I remember one of the first purchases. I think you and me did this together with the MCM hats.
Boxing Day, right?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah,
we got it for really cheap.
They were really cheap.
Remember?
Yeah.
Leather green snakeskin leather MCM hats with the gold which now would be worth in thousands.
Ooh.
Because MCM's back.
And they were so like right now you see this hat how it's really like beautifully boxed. I did that.
Right.
With the curving and the folding and all that stuff.
Right.
These MCM hats came beautifully boxed.
Right.
They had that gold. And it wasn't like a gold plate that they just used glue.
Right.
This shit was embroidered into the hat.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like the quality was on point, and we wore the fuck out of those things.
Yep.
But it influenced our fashion in such a huge way. I remember we had the 8-ball jeans.
Yeah.
We were wearing like size 42 jeans.
Malcolm X jeans with the
giant
designs.
X on the knee and shit.
Yeah, I mean, just like as a cross colors was huge.
Massive.
Right.
Changed the game for us because it weirdly enough, it introduced us to wearing colors.
Yeah.
Bright colors.
That's right.
Purples and greens.
No, it's true.
And blues and like all these ideas.
Yeah.
We never would have tried, but the fashion was so forward thinking.
Stripes, remember? A lot of stripe stuff.
And
but that was Will Smith.
Big time.
Will Smith was a huge influence on individuals like us.
And the problem was, at least in my school, the problem was nobody else was really on that.
Same here.
So I got bullied for wearing that shit.
Right.
I got kind of put through the ringer because we were brown kids, mostly surrounded by brown kids.
Right.
And you
were advanced.
You got called. I got called the N-word a lot.
Right.
Because the thing is, I wanted to express myself way more on the hip hop side because that's what spoke to me and felt real.
Right.
But in high school, if you did, you were maligned. You were like, because those brown dudes were wearing like Nex and like Club Monaco
Le Chateau.
and Mondetta. Le Chateau was a big thing.
Mondetta.
All those brands were the kind of like the pop culture brands.
Yeah.
And that's what was cool with like Levi's and like Doc Martens and shit.
Yeah, it was more preppy.
Yeah, and none of that spoke to me.
No.
The hip hop gear. I remember when we would go shopping, we would all go to the same spots and be at the same racks and look at the same.
That's right.
Because it spoke to us. The volume was loud when we saw it.
Yeah.
And
it wasn't forced. We wanted that
that's
stuff.
the only thing that spoke to us. Yeah. And it wasn't until after high school where I could like really express my love and affinity for it. But the music in high school, going to East Van high schools, we were the plug for music.
Yeah.
And you especially, because you had a volume of music.
Later on in my latter years, we got more heavily involved, and then we could actually purchase the music, and then it became.
So, do you remember? I kind of have an idea.
Yeah.
Do you remember what the turning point was musically for you, where you just like dove full on into the music and just it became the thing?
Yeah, probably like I'm gonna say like actually even like grade 8, like entry into high school. I remember Walkman had to have the bass boost on it. Because, and then you had to have the headphones with the bass in it. It was all bullshit, but whatever. And then the Juice soundtrack. Uptown Anthem, Naughty by Nature. I probably played that song out. And then ever since then, it was just, I need more of this. I need more of this. And then it became, and then your brother, shout outs to him, making mixtapes. He introduced us to that.
Yes.
Making mixtapes, how to make, like how to burn take music from a CD and put it up. Like he mastered that, and he gave us game on that, and then we took it and took it to another level. But there was just something I just loved about it, and then it was just like, and then it just everything was good. It's not, no offense to hip hop now, but it's fine, but everything there was good.
And it's really interesting.
Like Das Effects was good. Wu-Tang was good. Public Enemy was good. Like everything coming at us was good.
And it's interesting that you mentioned Naughty by Nature, because
Very underrated, by the way.
it's crucial that they get mentioned in this capacity because they became a grimy hip hop group
Yes.
that had massive mainstream appeal
Big time.
and huge pop culture success. And the way that Tretch was rapping on beats back then, the level of quality of bars for pop songs, I don't really know how else to say it. Just a little piece from one of their most popular songs. OPP, how can I explain it? I'll take it frame by frame it. To have y'all jump and shout and say it. O is for other, P is for people scratch your temple. The last P, well, that's not that simple. It's sort of like another way to call a cat a kitten. It's 5 little letters that are missing here. You get it on occasion if the body isn't gaining. It seems I gotta start to explain it. Bust it. This part here. You ever had a girl that better on a solo? You get a name and number, then you're real mellow. You get home with it, and she's what you know about. I'm reading it and I can't spit it. The way Tretch spits it. The quality of bars in a fucking pop song.
He said nothing, but he said everything.
And the way, and
you need a hip hop decoder to understand what he just said. Remember those decoder glasses you would get back in the days and 3D glasses? Like, that's literally what he's said everything, but he's made it so radio friendly that you don't know what he's really saying unless you actually understand what he's saying.
And the worst part is, I feel like I did a real disservice to the quality of the bars there. Because what he's really saying is, you ever had a girl and met her on a nice hello? You'll get her name and number, then left feeling real mellow. You get home, wait a day, she's what you want to know about. Then you call up and it's her girlfriend's or her cousin's house. And it sounds silly, but the patterns.
Yeah.
The rhyme pattern, Tretch's rhyme patterns are top tier. Just the patterns alone, I would say he should be a top 5. And it's crazy because he's been asking M to produce his album.
That would be different.
A Tretch solo album, which has never happened.
And I think, if I'm correct, isn't Tretch one of M's favorite rappers?
He calls M his top. M calls Tretch his top 3.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And you mentioned one of their, more serious, impactful hip hop songs.
Uptown Anthem.
Which is one of the greatest soundtrack songs of all time. But
Hands
OPP, even now. It's interesting how TikTok has made a lot of these legacy artists really relevant again.
Has brought them back.
Because, their songs become trends.
Which is great.
I love it.
Yeah.
And this Uptown Anthem, one of my favorite songs of all time. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because the opening of the song.
Hey, you can
smoke a spliff with the cliff, but there's still no mountain high enough. Or wide enough to touch the naughty, nappy, nasty, and the nasty, trashy, whole happy pappy. That's happy to be nappy.
I still remember that.
Me and Vin rock win spots, hit flocks in groups and troops with timber boots and jail suits.
And Vin is one of the members, Vinny, of...
Who doesn't write, by the way. Tretch does.
He looks like Mike Tyson, if you know.
Tretch does all the writing. And honestly, needs to be given way more praise.
It's true.
Like way more credit, way more praise.
And you know what? You're talking about Naughty by Nature. Shout out to KG. What a producer.
Right.
He produces every single one of those songs.
Feel Me Flow. Another massive hit.
Everything's gonna be all right now.
And they've had hits in every era they've made music.
They have.
Right? They've never had an album where people are like, Naughty fell off. There's always a gem that crosses over. They just have the magic formula for that.
Do you know he produced Hit the Hooker for Eazy-E? That's a KG beat.
Crazy.
Can you tell that with the piano? Then.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Beat, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And they're East Coast group, right?
New Jersey. Dirty Jersey.
Out of the Jersey. And the fact that they can come out of New Jersey and have these crossover cultural phenomenon. And we didn't mention Hip Hop Array, which is one of the biggest songs in hip hop history.
Craziest.
And it crossed over. Craziest is a dope track.
So good.
And I think Tretch was the first rapper that I saw. I was like, fuck, that dude that's a bad motherfucker.
And he used to wear that
ripped as well.
Literally a chain with a padlock that you buy from Home Depot.
Yeah. Thick ass.
Like
Rampage style chains. Rampage Jackson style chains.
one of the earlier rappers to be in a movie. He was in Juice.
Yeah.
Remember?
Because of Pac.
Because of Pac.
Yeah, Tretch tells a great story about how he actually was the one auditioning for Juice.
That's right.
And
he
Pac
took
was with
along,
him.
right?
Yeah.
I
And
remember
and
that.
Tretch botched the audition, and then he brought Pac in, and Pac tore the roof off the
Yeah,
place, and
that's
obviously got the audition. One of Pac's greatest contributions to cinema
That's right.
is Bishop.
And one of the greatest scenes, the locker scene.
Oh, dude, I monologued that scene
So
much.
So it's like the Robert De Niro Al Pacino Heat scene. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that good.
And Omar Epps' reaction in that movie to Pac, you could just feel it. It was
Yeah.
very unnerving. Omar Epps, extremely underrated actor.
Very good.
His contributions to popular cinema at that time, with higher learning as well, the guy was
Oh yeah,
spectacular.
I just saw that in a while ago,
And
too.
hip hop's infiltration into cinema
Yep,
is severely underrated,
100%.
right? Because directors like
John Singleton,
John Singleton was
Yeah.
a game changer for
Hughes
them.
brothers.
Hughes brothers were huge as well, and the central feeling of the entire movie is hip hop.
F. Gary Gray. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
Right, like the whole thing feels hip hop,
It's
and
true.
and this is a great segue going into. I think we can both agree, what really changed our feeling for hip hop, and that's Pac.
Yeah, you were on Pac early. I came around like late Me Against the World.
Yeah.
But you were on him early, and we would be like, nah, man. He's a great actor. He's
Yeah.
entertaining.
Yeah.
But a rapper, nah. Because at that point he had released Strictly for My and Tupacalypse Now.
Yeah.
And there were, well, there was Brenda's Got a, Brenda's,
That was a big one.
yeah, Brenda's Got a Baby.
Yep.
But I didn't resonate with him musically until Dear Mama and Me Against the World and
Right.
those kind of songs. But you were on it. I mean, Alite was a big hype man for Tupac early on. Because remember, we saw him on Arsenio.
Yeah, Arsenio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But his rap was very different too. The first two albums. Let's not get into
Yeah,
it.
it was-
wasn't bad, but it was different.
It was in the vein of, the style of what you would hear on early Ice Cube.
Yeah. And a little commercial.
A little commercial.
Like Round and Round.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
I Get
and the
Around.
thing is, I Get Around that became like a massive hit for Pac, right?
Right.
But
that
Tupacalypse Now, Pac.
Yeah.
Same song, Pac. Strictly
Right.
from My Ends, Pac. That style of rap was very elementary for Pac.
Yes.
You could tell he was new with the pen.
Yeah.
But you could hear passion. And the thing is, for me, Pac's cadence and voice got me before his lyrics.
Right.
Because like you had never heard someone use their voice like that.
It's true.
The sing-song rap style that he would do.
Yeah.
Like he would extend words and just hold them out in ways that you had just never heard before.
Right.
And like to me, that spoke to me immediately. I was like, oh yeah, I like that. Because it made hip hop feel more melodic.
Right.
But still really serious.
Right.
Right? And then to me personally, I think Me Against the World is one of the most significant contributions to hip hop that any artist has made.
Really is.
The collection of songs on Me Against the World.
One of my all-time favorite albums, and for the most part, there's very few misses on that album.
Yeah, very few misses, and some of the songs, the impact of some of these songs, for me at least as an artist, like just changed the way I write, changed the way I do music altogether, and So Many Tears for me.
Oh.
I would say not just hip hop songs, but songs overall for me.
Yeah.
Got to be top 10 greatest songs of
Really, eh?
all time.
For you, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great
Because
song.
it speaks to me in ways like, it's weird because it reflects kind of how at least my childhood was, but doesn't reflect it because he's coming at it from the perspective of the streets, gangs.
Losing individuals.
Yeah, and for me, it's more personal what was happening at home because
Right.
it's the back in elementary. I thrived on misery, left
Right.
me alone. I grew up amongst the down breed. Inside my mind, couldn't find a place to rest until I got that thug life tatted on my chest. Tell me, can you feel me? And when he says, "Tell me, can you feel me?" every single word of that speaks to me.
You feel it.
Yeah, it speaks to me in ways that I don't think any other hip hop artist to this day can replicate. Right?
He does. He hits me in a different way. There's just something about when he raps, there's a genuine feeling to it. Like he's not just rapping for the sake of rapping.
Yeah.
He's telling you a story. He's painting you a picture.
Yeah.
And then you can hear it in his voice. And this is when we were introduced to Thug Life Tupac.
Yeah.
Which was a very different Tupac because he
Yeah.
was in jail. He saw some things. He wasn't this.
Nah, he was
angry.
He was affected.
He was angry.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
you hear it in the album in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he was really me against the world.
Yeah, and it's a
He went
huge.
to jail for something that he didn't do.
Got shot up.
He got shot up. Things were not looking great for him, man.
It was huge evolution, I think, for him musically, artistically.
Oh, definitely.
And we talked about Machiavelli in another episode.
Yes.
And I think we paid it a great tribute.
We did.
Really gave it the reverence it deserves. But like, you know, even if you weren't experiencing what he was experiencing, the way he delivered it made you feel like it was happening to you.
Right.
Where even on Dear Mama, which is one of the most beautiful songs ever written, even though you was the crack fiend, mama, you always was.
Black.
We didn't have parents that were addicts,
No.
but that line, the way he delivers it, makes you feel like, yo, that's my mom, yo, that's my mom.
It's true. And I'll sometimes see these these reaction videos on YouTube that they have, and they're reacting to old songs they've never heard of before. And you have these like mother and daughter or father, and they're listening to Dear Mama, and they're like crying.
Yeah.
Like you imagine like the impact that like they've never heard the song. Some of them don't even know probably who to, and they're literally crying at the song because it hits them.
And
So it's universal.
and I think it's really beautifully written. I think Pac's pen game, to me personally, top 5 greatest dead or alive.
I totally agree with that.
The way the song starts off, and I think everybody that is a hip hop fan, I would be able to rap every single word. When I was young, me and my mom had beef, 17 years old, kicked down on the streets. But back at the time, I never thought to see your face. Ain't a woman alive that could take my mama's place. Like that, some of those lines, the way they hit, and him and his mom went through a lot together.
Yes, they did.
You know, she was an addict for a good amount of years when he was up and coming, becoming a superstar. She was a Black Panther.
Correct.
So she kind of gave him his grit. She gave him his grind.
She
gave
was
him his
pregnant with him in jail.
in jail. She
I mean,
gave
there's a lot of
a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
A lot of baggage. And Pac didn't really have a pops growing up.
correct.
So she became like everything, and she raised. You know, she created.
Yeah,
She
him and
created
his sister.
Right,
Yeah.
and she, you know, her creating Pac in
Yeah.
those circumstances really gave him a DNA that no other artist had.
No.
So the authenticity of Pac,
No.
when he would, even when he rapped about the gang stuff, and he wasn't really a gangster,
Nope.
because of his artistic background, as you know, he went to a
He
arts,
went to arts and drama school.
school. Yeah,
He was a very talented.
he was
individual.
really a trained artist.
right.
Um,
but he saw everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he was channeling from places where, to me, I feel like every artist should pull from, which is the condition of the world. And I think
100%.
Pac reflected that better, really, than any artist I can think of, like globally, that I can think of.
I would agree.
So for me, Pac was a game changer in hip hop. He really changed my direction, the thinking that I took into artists, and what they should mean and what they should represent.
Right.
And then after he passes, do you remember the next artist that hit you like that? Because I think this is an important transition, which affected both of us.
As far as just someone that like made you feel something
That you connected to really, really deep. Because I think we both felt the same, and this was because of you as well. This is your direct contribution to our hip hop knowledge.
That's a really good one.
Yeah. But I think you may be overthinking it.
I mean, you know, the easy answer would be someone like a Jay-Z. But I think
There was
I think
one in between.
I think it would be DMX.
I think you're missing one.
Easy.
Master P.
You know what? I thought about that, and you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Because the
You're not
Southern
wrong.
movement
You're
was
not
massive.
You're not wrong. You're right.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. I think. Yeah, I think with Master P was a feeling, but it was more of that. Because he wasn't known to be a rapper.
No,
right?
no.
So he made me feel something, but it was more of just the way he did things.
Mhm.
Like it was very different.
boss.
right?
Mhm.
But then when you listen to like a DMX,
Mhm.
you have that Tupac, you have that Pac you get reminiscent of that a little bit when he talks about I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't. Like,
Yeah.
you really can vision stuff like that. So yeah, it's that. But you're right. I think Master P would be the guy.
Because then the South bum
As
rushed.
far as impactful, yeah.
Yeah, the South
you're
came
right.
and bum rushed everything, right?
true.
And that's kind of it was interesting because we're growing up, Southeast Vancouver, Burnaby, Lower Mainland of BC.
Yeah.
We're really unaffected by gangs. We're really unaffected by guns. We're really unaffected by drugs. It's around us, but the difference with the way drug dealers operate, at least when we were growing up, the way
Yeah.
drug dealers operated, they didn't need to deal drugs.
No.
Right? Like their parents were middle class, able to
Right.
afford their schools and cars and stuff like that. They
Correct.
didn't have to grind. They saw opportunities to get a lot of wealth
Yeah.
and took
Or
advantage of it.
notoriety, right?
And it didn't really, at least to me, that didn't speak to me. To me,
No.
that was sucker shit. Like, oh, you have a good life and you want to deal drugs?
Yeah.
Like, that's
it
sucker
never-
shit.
it never
So we
appealed
weren't
to me.
really affected
No.
by that. But the struggle grind of drug dealers having
Right.
to sell drugs.
Right.
And I know we say having to sell drugs. You don't grow up in an impoverished area where the only opportunity is either becoming a superstar
Yeah.
athlete
Yeah.
or selling drugs to feed your family.
Right.
And we're not gonna get into the COINTELPRO and all that stuff. It goes too deep. That kind of a societal conversation is not really for hip hop.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not from that background, you can't really make any
you can't
comment.
you can't judge it.
How do you know?
Yeah, you
What
can't
do
judge
know?
it.
Yeah.
But the art of the grind, the
Yeah.
hustle, the determination,
It's true.
the strength, this is something that we could resonate with, and the South spoke to us in a huge way.
And if you look at it, if you look at what you just said, like that's a major common denominator in a lot of the greats in hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
They started out selling drugs. Guys like Jay-Z, Master P,
Yeah.
Dame, like that's all they knew.
Mm-hmm.
So it was they took that acumen, that business,
Yeah.
and they made something out of it.
Yeah.
So without that, they probably wouldn't have had success.
Yeah.
They needed to do that to do this.
Yeah. And they saw an opening
And they saw it open.
and exploited it in the way that every other capitalist has
Correct.
from,
And they came from like, I mean, Jay-Z, 4 or 5 brothers and sisters, Master P 5, living in one apartment. Like
Yeah.
we can't talk about
Yeah.
that.
And let's not get it
So-
twisted. This is a blueprint that's been laid. It's
Oh,
not like
yeah.
these guys did it. The Rothschilds were a criminal family. The Kennedys were a criminal family.
Correct. Rockefellers.
Rockefellers were a criminal. All these institutional
Oh, yeah.
families
Yeah,
in North
let's
America
not
were all
forget that.
criminals. So it's not like it's just this segment of the population. They got it from somewhere.
Correct.
And the system was designed to be exploited. And people like Master P exploited the fuck out of it in a
True.
way that was brilliant. And here's the wild thing. So No Limit, Master P, Cash Money, that movement, we would have never considered, what people from New Orleans sound like.
That's true.
We would have no reference.
We were never the only South artist prior to that South movement, Master P and Cash Money, was really like
Scarface.
Ghetto Boys and Scarface
Yeah, yeah.
and UGK.
Yeah.
Realistically, right?
But at least that we had access
That
to.
we had access to.
Yeah.
And even then, we didn't even look at it as South. We just knew they were different.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I didn't call that South.
Yeah,
at all.
no.
I was like, oh, he's from Houston.
Yeah.
Right? Or whatever.
Just abstract
we would
places.
hear it in their rap, but
Yeah.
we wouldn't be like, he's a South artist.
Yeah.
He's a rapper, and he's not from New York, and he's not from LA.
Yeah.
That's all I know. But
And like
You're
even
right.
with Scarface, the way he would rap, the twang, the
Yeah.
voice he would use, we had heard similar feels
Yes.
because Chuck D,
Right.
kind of birthed Scarface,
Yep.
I would say, in
Definitely.
that way.
Definitely.
I think Scarface's pen game just took off in a completely different way.
and another one who's in a lot of people's top 5.
Yeah,
top
to me, I would say personally, I consider Scarface the Shakespeare of hip hop. His pen game is
That's well
very
said.
Shakespearean.
That's basically what it is.
Because he reflects on death and emotions in a way that no other artist does.
Never seen a man cry? I mean, that is such a
Unbelievable.
vivid, dark picture.
Yeah, and even like songs like Mary Jane.
Yeah.
There's a really great interview. Did you ever watch Club Shay Shay?
Yes.
So Scarface was just on.
I saw bits of it. I didn't see the whole
So
thing.
the first half an hour of the interview is Scarface doing sound check.
Oh,
But they're talking about the songs. So they're talking about the songs, and then Scarface is like, yo, play that one that we're talking about. And they would play I've Never Seen a Man Cry. And then Scarface starts rapping.
oh wow.
So he raps like the first 30 seconds. And dude, this guy's voice, man. hip hop fans, do yourself the service of watching Scarface's Tiny Desk.
That would be good.
It's a
I haven't
masterpiece.
seen that.
It's a masterpiece.
That would be good.
It's got a
I mean,
bass
he's done
player.
so many hits.
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So the way Scarface uses his voice, that kind of like exaggerated patterns we had heard, but then when Cash Money and No Limit show up, we're like, what the fuck?
It was No Limit was just like mind blown.
Ice Cream Man.
It went from 1 CD to 5 CDs to 20. Like I had almost every single one because they all had something.
Yeah.
And then from there, you're right. Then Cash Money came in. I mean, they were there, but then they really came in. And then 3-6 Mafia. And then it's just Drake Dad.
Outkast.
And Outkast came before them, but even Outkast for us was not even South. For me, it was just Atlanta.
Yes.
Same with the Brat.
Yes.
Atlanta, JD, Atlanta, not South. These guys brought that South. Like, we got something to say. Andre said it a long time ago, but these guys planted the flag.
Yeah, because like the way they use words, the way the South artists use words.
Yeah.
We had no idea. So like when Master P comes with Ice Cream Man,
Yeah.
and first of all the hook, right? The dude doesn't sound like he could sing. It's probably Moby Dick, right? Singing, Mr. Ice
So
Cream
it's
Man.
Mia X and Moby Dick. So Mia X said, hey, you can remember that
Oh,
part?
right,
And
right.
then Moby Dick comes in.
And
so it's a
then
combination.
P comes in, hit the block, dressed in white, with some baggage about a pocket full of stone. 3G, they trying to loot these houses.
So you know what he's doing there, right?
That's very Pimp C.
Pocket full of stones.
Yeah.
That was their hit
Yeah.
song, UGK's.
Yeah,
That's
and-
exactly what he's doing.
And the way that he's using these words to me was like a revelation. It's like the fresh
Yeah.
air he breathed onto the beat was, for me as an artist,
It
was
different.
incredible.
And this
incredible.
was No Limit's last Bay Area album. 'Cause
Right.
From this, they switched back to New Orleans, and then we got True, and then we got Ghetto Dope. So this was the last of the K-Lou sound.
Yeah.
And now we were getting Beats by the Pound.
And the Beats by the Pound was,
which was a
very
real
different.
South
Yeah.
authentic.
They kind of invented that. I don't want to say they invented bounce because that's not what
They
they
did it,
But
but
they
they were
incorporated
a major-
bounce
they were.
into this new kind of
They were.
futuristic bass heavy
100%.
beats that really we had not heard before and kind of set the groundwork for artists to come.
Yeah.
Many artists to come.
I think the closest thing we were exposed to was like Miami bass,
Yes.
right? Like Two Life Crew, 95
Yes.
South.
And that to me that never sounded like rapping.
No, I mean that was just
That was just
It was fun.
it was party music,
dirty music,
very dirty.
right? Strip club,
A lot of chanting stuff.
Yeah. But that was the closest thing to like a bounce type of.
Yes.
And that's South too, but that's Southeast, right? That's Florida, but still South. But no, you're right. When No Limit went back to New Orleans, and then Cash Money, I mean although they were just New Orleans, they just that's all you needed for the South. The amount of hits that they were coming out with, you didn't need anybody else.
Yeah, their volume was
Like,
incredible.
That was enough. Those two camps were enough to represent the South.
Yeah, and the thing is, after that kind of became like the stigma of Southern artists because Lil Jon, they all kind of came with the
Right,
same feeling
right.
and same sound.
T.I. came a little bit after Ludacris.
Yeah,
Right.
I think Outkast,
The Swisher House movement. And let's not forget, we totally forgot about Swab House.
A-Ball, MJG.
I mean, Houston, Memphis.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
South Circle, Crime Boss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I think that's what
Tella,
makes Outkast so much more special. Because they did nothing traditionally
They didn't.
Southern as far as the music
It's
goes.
true. Even their production, or shout outs to Organized Noise, one of the best productions.
Yeah,
I've ever done.
absolutely.
You knew it wasn't West Coast or East Coast, but it didn't have a full South, right? It just
No,
had
because it was very musical.
It was very musical.
Very musical.
That's
and
the way to put
and
it.
the melodies were incredible. I think one of their biggest hits, So Fresh and So Clean,
Yeah.
which got re-viral on TikTok because the song is so good.
Elevators,
Elevators is
Players Ball,
International Players Anthem.
Southern Players List of Cadillac.
Yeah, they got the catalog is immense.
Yeah.
Spotty Yachty Dopalicious, like Outkast catalog is for me like
Jazzy Bells. I mean, this goes on.
yeah, and we haven't even touched on like the commercial hits of theirs, like Miss Jackson and
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Bombs Over
Rosa
Baghdad,
Parks.
and it's endless,
Yeah.
and it's crazy because there's not
Yeah.
many artists that you can mention that many songs from,
It's true.
and we didn't even think about it. Just so y'all know, side note, make sure you subscribe. I'll put a little subscribe thing up here. So you
Please.
can hit the buttons. But just so you know, this conversation, there's no notes, there's no pen or pad, there's
Nope.
no reference points.
Nope.
We decided to talk about hip hop in the way that we love it. And this is all the freestyle conversation that comes. The only thing I'm bringing up on the laptop is some of the artists we're talking about, the lyrics, so that when I recite the lyrics, I don't make any mistakes.
Right.
Because I don't want to disrespect any of these artists.
That's fair.
And yeah, so
This
it's
is all off the dome.
all off the dome
Yeah.
and live.
Live and direct.
And
From
live.
Studio 79.
90s to Infinity. Make sure you hit the subscribe.
Please.
So Outkast is kind of like, one of the anomalies, at least for me from the South, that never sounded like South artists.
Yeah, Outkast is like, how do I mean, you said it exactly right. I'm trying to extract an artist or a group for hip hop from the East or West who kind of was so Ice-T. Ice-T from the West Coast, but originally from Jersey.
Yeah.
But his music was West.
Very
But
West.
it didn't sound like West Coast.
No,
music,
he
right?
sounds like a New York dude rapping over West Coast beats.
Right.
Yeah.
So you do have those that come and go.
Yes.
Right? Like Public Enemy didn't sound like an East Coast group. They just sounded like a group who was doing political rap, but they're from the East.
Yes. I think
right?
Public Enemy
But now Wu-Tang sounds like East Coast.
definitely a new version of the East Coast. I think Public Enemy, because of all the scratches and cuts,
Yeah.
they still are in that space.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, Wu is what really kicked down the doors for what
Wu,
the new East
Nas,
Coast is.
And then of course, Jay-Z, Mobb Deep.
Right.
Right.
And we just
Right.
talked about Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt on our last
Yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
Really one of my most fun episodes because of the
great.
album content
There's
and
so many
quality.
gems and so much behind that album.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, watch it.
And okay, so obviously, we can't touch on that era without mentioning, how the West Coast contributed to our hip hop knowledge.
Early on.
Dre, Dogg Pound, Snoop
West
Dogg.
Coast was the first introduction, if you really look at it.
And really, we never really stopped listening to the West Coast. It kind of always stayed that way.
Always.
And dictated how we felt about music and artists because of Pac.
West Coast birthed gangster rap.
Yes.
Say what you want. Some people say Schoolie D did it in the 80s. And that's fair, but if you really want the popularity of Eazy-E, Godfather, and everything that came from that family tree, it's all from the West Coast.
Yeah, and we talked about Easy before when we did the NWA
Yeah.
album. I think it never, we should never not make sure that we remind people of how
100%.
incredible Easy was.
I'm a huge
not just
Eazy
as
guy.
a artist, but as a businessman and as a
True.
celebrity.
Yes.
One of the only artists that went to the White House.
Bought a tape.
And
bought
not went to Barack Obama's White House.
No.
Went to George Bush Sr.'s White House and was invited. He didn't bum rush the White House. He was invited as a guest. And that speaks to his celebrity. And I think it's terrible that we lost him at such a young age. Which speaks to another really interesting part of hip hop is losing artists at young ages.
Yes. And it's nowadays you see it in a lot of genres. Unfortunately, like Amy Winehouse.
Yeah,
And
drug
Kurt Cobain
addiction is
right. But hip hop really, you saw a lot in hip hop.
lots.
Unfortunately, and a lot of it was gang violence. It was
Yeah,
violence. It was
yeah.
violence.
A lot of
Now
self-fulfilling
it's more-
prophecies.
Now it's more drug related.
Yeah.
You're seeing a lot of overdoses, unfortunately. But back then, it wasn't so much drugs. It was
Yeah.
it was more of just unfortunate violence.
And speaking to the music, which again is really like a self-fulfilling prophecy because a lot of hip hop artists rap about
It's
death.
true.
Death is a really common topic.
That's very
a
true.
lot of the greats in hip hop rapped about their own demise, rapped about dying, openly reflected on their deaths. Pac talked about how people would celebrate him after he died.
Right.
Big talks about suicidal thoughts all the time. Scarface talks about death. A
Yeah.
lot of artists reflect on their death, and I think
And a lot of these rappers, even in their songs, they used to be like, "Lucky if I made it to 21." Like that was such a common line.
Very
in
common
every deal-
theme.
because that was like the life expectancy, right? Like, if you made it at 20, oh wow, you're gonna have a long life.
and that's incredible to even say
it's
out
dark,
loud.
it's sad.
Yeah, because it speaks to how the culture was created
Right.
and the music that was birthed from such a dark, really destitute place.
It's true.
So in a way, it does become an escape, not just the writing of it, the performing of it, the
Right.
creating of it, but the financial success of it afterwards. And I think that's really interesting. We've kind of talked about the years as we're going through hip hop. And then we kind of get into this new era of hip hop after Master P and Cash Money,
Right.
where everyone's now their own label.
And you're talking like early 2000s.
Yeah, everyone's got an imprint.
It's true.
Every big artist has a stable of smaller artists underneath them.
Eminem, Shady Records.
Yeah, well, you know,
and
Eminem,
then
and then you know, Nelly kind of did the same thing with the same
Ludacris
Lunatics.
Disturbing the noise.
Yeah.
They all had.
So
Disturbing
this,
the Peace,
this
sorry,
kind of
yeah.
became the birth of the imprint era.
Correct.
And everybody became independent business people, which is dope because
Yeah.
it showed that, you know, hip hop is evolving as the game is changing
Right.
and not just relying on labels to fuel the success of the hip hop.
Yes.
And that moving into like the 2015s and things really started to die because this 360 deal started to come out
Correct.
with a lot of labels began after streaming and things became.
If you still wanted to go with the majors,
Mm-hmm.
you would have no choice but to go with the 360 plan.
Yeah.
Or you go independent.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, if you have money, you can go independent.
Yes.
But if you don't, you're struggling.
And if you can,
Noriega says it's the best. Even now, he says, I'm always going to go to the majors because they give me all the money.
It's comfortable.
Yeah, it's comfortable.
Yeah.
Now, some people not so much, but that's...
and if you can get poppin'
To each
as
their
an
own.
independent, then you can dictate the terms with the major.
Sure you can.
Right? Then you can make them do what you want.
Of course.
And it's been great and it's been terrible.
Right.
Because the music, unfortunately, that has been made, and you know, I think DMC spoke to this once, from Run DMC,
Yeah.
representing on the shirt.
Yes,
one of
that.
the most prolific hip hop groups of all time.
Of all times.
DMC says there's no prerequisites for hip hop. Anybody that has a microphone and a computer can make hip hop music, and he said that's good and that's bad. The
It's
good
not
thing
wrong.
is you have artists from across the globe that now have access, and that's a very unique thing that hip hop has been able to do, which really very few genres of music has done, and that's infiltrate
true.
every country
Yeah.
and every language.
Yeah, I mean that's so true. You won't. That's so true. You don't see country western music
In India?
in other languages. You know, pop you'll see some a little bit.
Maybe you'll see some metal.
You'll
There's
see a
some
little-
weird
you'll see a
metal,
little
like
bit of
Pakistani
rock.
metal.
Yeah, you'll see a little rock.
Yeah.
You'll see pop. You have K-pop and all
Sure.
that stuff, right? But but hip hop, it's everywhere. Man.
Everywhere.
You see it in the Middle East.
Yes.
You see it in India. You see it in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
You see it
You
in
see it
Europe.
all over
I
Europe.
mean, yeah, I mean, in different languages.
Yeah, yeah. So, and I think
It's true.
that's one of the unique things about hip hop. Again, speaking to the culture part of it, is the way that people move
It's
when they're hip-hop
universally,
fans.
not even universally accepted, but universally loved.
Yeah, it really is.
Like
It's,
you remember that documentary, The Show?
oh
You
yeah,
remember when Wu-Tang goes to Japan and you got all
Oh
those people in
my
Japan who
God.
they're wearing all this hip hop gear, and we're
It's
talking '96.
crazy.
Like, and they were so involved. They were so, they were just so taken back by the culture that you didn't even think you were in Japan.
It was dripping off them.
It looked like a suburb of like, you know, somewhere in the States.
And
like the way they were.
the people that are not speaking the
No,
language,
nothing. But they're doing the lingo.
but they know
they're doing
every word.
Yes,
Every word.
Yeah, when it came to the rap, when it came to the song, they knew everything.
And that's the beautiful thing about the culture, for me at least, when I look at hip hop globally.
Yeah.
And there's so much hip hop where we don't understand the language,
No.
but it's still listenable
Definitely.
because the beats are banging.
100%.
And if people have, like, there's some South American hip hop, obviously the rapping in Spanish. Spanish is a nice sounding language as
Yeah,
it is.
it is.
But when they rap in Spanish, I can listen to it all day.
Yeah.
Beats banging. I don't have to
true.
worry about knowing the words.
It's true.
And this is something that, you know, speaks to the globalization of the culture. It really became the culture of the world. And I think that gets really underestimated because if you took, I would say, this is completely my speculation, but if you took a global poll
Right.
of the most listened to music, notwithstanding the charts already reinforce this, that hip hop's the most selling music globally. Of people that listen to music, I would say hip hop is probably the most known music globally.
I would have to agree.
Yeah, and again, there's the trade-off where because so many people have access to it, now so many people can make it, and which means that you're gonna get
It's diluted now.
a lot of ass
Yeah.
music,
Yeah, it's bad.
right? And unfortunately, you know, the city that we come from, Vancouver, we've had a mixed bag
Of local artists.
of local artists
We have.
that have done some really, really dope
We've
things.
seen some success,
Mm-hmm.
but for the most part,
there's been a lot of ass.
a lot of failures.
And a lot of the artists that have really popped off from Vancouver are white. And they're not bad at all. Like Junk, the artist named Junk goes by My Name is Junk.
Oh, okay.
And he's dope. He's
Right.
killing it internationally.
dope.
He opens up for like right now I think he's in Italy. I think he's in Italy. Yeah, and like so when Onyx comes there, he'll open for Onyx.
Oh, nice,
and stuff.
yeah.
But he grew up and started his career here. And then
Okay.
Mercury is the son of
Yeah,
Death
yeah,
Row.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
out of Vancouver as well.
Yeah, he's
so
had success,
Vancouver's got some successes. Then you got the Swollen members that did
Yeah.
a really good job
They had
of putting
a lot of
Van City on the
success.
map.
And
Rascals,
Rascals, I think,
obviously.
for me, they're the biggest group from Vancouver and one of the biggest hip hop groups in Canada.
The OGs
Yeah.
for the West
I mean,
Coast.
they had hits.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
the first album, the second album a little bit, but that third album with Movie Star and all that. I mean,
Crazy World.
Crazy World,
It's a
yeah.
massive song.
Yeah.
So Vancouver's had a mixed bag of hip hop. For me as a hip hop artist, that's only put out 2 projects. I'm pretty happy with the contributions that I've made as a local artist in Vancouver. And for me, it's more important not just the. Hold on, some kind of a commercial going on here. I feel like my contribution to hip hop, I've been pretty happy with, not only through music, but through the institution of fashion.
Well, I would consider you as one of the successes.
I feel like I've done some cool things. I feel like I've had a
You've done
couple of
things
cool
a lot of
opportunities.
people in your space couldn't have done.
Yeah,
Or they didn't have the skill set to do it.
and I got to run Hip Hop Connection for a lot of years. For those of you that are
Shout out to
from
Hip Hop
the
Connection.
West Coast and have grown up in the Lower Mainland, there was a hip hop clothing store called Hip Hop Connection.
The hip hop clothing mecca.
It
for a
was,
very long
and we had access to a lot of hip hop celebrities, which is really cool.
Yes, you got to meet a lot of people.
Yeah, I got to meet a lot of them. I got to meet Ice-T, which was a really cool experience. Wonderful person to the fans that were like surrounding him.
Right.
Signed a lot of autographs, gave a lot of high fives.
And he
hella
looks like a
cool.
guy that's intimidating.
He was.
Right.
He's not a big dude, but the
he's-
face and
yeah.
the shades and
Ice-T,
stuff.
man.
And it's Ice-T, he carries the lore with him.
Yeah.
And then Master P, like we were talking about, got to meet Master P as a phenomenal experience. Got to meet the Lost Boys very quickly. Got to say what's up to Busta Rhymes, who was not cool at all, but
And I've heard that even now.
and he
His
doesn't
interactions
owe anybody anything.
Nah, that's
Right?
true.
So if you felt like being a dick, could be a dick.
Yeah.
But yeah, Hip Hop Connection was instrumental for people. To this day,
100%.
I meet people that are like, oh man, you made my hat. Because we used to make custom hats. So
cool.
that was really foundational for hip hop in the city. But the artists now, I feel like there's just way too many artists coming out of Vancouver that are making music.
I can't even keep up. to be
And
honest.
and honestly, like there's not a lot of them that are good.
Right.
There's a handful that are good that I can speak to, but outside of that, Vancouver hasn't really had. They haven't really put Vancouver on the map for hip hop, in the kind of like the hip hop infrastructure.
They haven't done what Drake has done for Toronto.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Hate
They
him
haven't
or,
had.
hate him or like him.
There's no
a lot of-
breakout. There's no breakout star.
He did put Toronto.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
There's no breakout star out
We
of the
haven't
West
had
Coast.
anybody of that nature.
Yeah, because even Tory Lanez, they all come from out there.
Yeah.
So we haven't really
And
had
Cardi,
that.
right? Cardinal, right?
Yeah, Cardinal, Socrates,
When you
Chocolate.
when you think of those artists, you think of Toronto.
Yes.
We don't have. I mean, I guess Rascals would be the closest one.
They made a mark.
They made a mark.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's
No.
You're right.
And that's the thing about hip hop, right? Like it's very regional. Every
Yes.
region has their own style, their own swagger. We don't really have a style in Vancouver, I would say. The
we
hip
don't have a
hop.
sound.
We don't have a sound. I feel like the sound of
It's kind of
Vancouver.
people just wanting to rap.
Yeah, and what speaks to them. Like I feel
Yeah.
like my sound is very West Coast. Like the beats I choose are very West Coast. I do try to experiment with other
Yeah, definitely.
sounding beats.
Yeah.
But the feel for me that feels good, like a lot of my songs will feel like West Coast, especially on this new
Is
album.
that something that you consciously
No,
wanted to do?
no, definitely not. Like I have a song coming up, it's gonna be coming up called Brown Love, and the beat's super West Coast, super laid back,
I think I
piano
heard that,
feels.
right? I heard that.
Yeah, you've heard that. To me, it feels like how we do it. Feelings.
Yeah.
Those kind of beats speak to me
Right.
huge. I like making music like that, and it just happens to sound West Coast. But the thing is, the one thing about Vancouver that I like about the rappers is that there's a lot of different flows. No one tries to be somebody
Right.
with their raps, right? Everyone's trying to be unique in themselves,
Yeah.
which leads to a lot of different kind of cadences. Again, not all good, but at least they're
But
trying.
there's some originality.
Yeah,
right?
they're trying to be original, trying to be different, and I think that's the cool thing about Vancouver hip hop.
as a city having someone like a Drake, like someone who's gonna just explode on the scene, or even on the Canadian scene, like and be like, oh, this guy, and people will be like, this guy, oh, you know that? Yeah, he's from Van City.
I'm not gonna.
Like the six.
I'm
like
not. I'm
Van
not gonna
City,
toot my
like,
own horn, but I'm gonna say me.
that's
I'm gonna say my
dope,
next
man.
album, Brown Side Up. But again,
Great
I feel
answer.
like for me, it's more of the representation of being a Fijian artist,
Right.
as opposed to being a Vancouver artist. Because I lead with the Fijian part,
Right.
Right. I don't represent Vancouver like as
It's
a
bigger than
person.
that.
Yeah, because even my song Van City, it's more about the city being fucked up than a party song.
Right.
The hook is the party hook.
Right.
But the lyrics are very like the city's kind of fucked
But
up.
you're talking about where you came
From my lived
Your
experience
lived
of
experience.
how I see it, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I definitely feel like once Brown Side Out comes out,
So if
Vancouver's
people
gonna
want to
get
check
a
your
taste.
older music, how do they check it out?
So if you go to Spotify and just Spotify ALITE, my
Check it
album
out if you
on
haven't.
there is the Vanguard. It was made in 2017, and
And it
yeah,
still holds up. We were listening to it at a get together a couple weeks ago.
yeah, I feel like
Still
there's some bangers on there. I feel like there's some
There is.
good music. Lyrically, I feel like it's amazing, but I feel like this album musically is gonna be much better.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But now speaking to where hip hop is now, because there was a period of time for you
Mm-hmm.
where you can say you fell out of love.
Of hip hop.
Yeah.
Yeah. I fell out of love with the hip hop at that time.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And-
Absolutely.
And I can probably say that a little bit now too. Like I don't listen to a lot of new stuff, and maybe that's my ignorance.
Mhm.
But now that I have some older nieces and nephews that are in my life, they introduce you or reintroduce you to some of this new stuff,
Mhm.
and then you yourself as well. Like I try to keep current, but sometimes it's just hard because of so much of it is bad.
A lot of it is bad. A lot of it is bad.
So you kind of just lose faith and then be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put my old school stuff on. But yeah, there was a time where somewhere like in the and like you just said, that was just a time where the Cash Money, No Limit, they were kind of dying out, and then you saw this new trend of music before 50 Cent came onto picture, and then it was kind of like okay, and then like for me, Indian music, Bollywood music kind of sounded really good. Right? And then I was like, okay, that kind of music's done. And then you had that phase. Hip hop was still there, but it wasn't the hip hop of that time. It was hip hop
Old school.
stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And then guys like 50 Cent came on the scene, The Game, and it was a resurgence.
Yeah.
Right? There was this it was back.
Yeah, the game changed.
The game changed.
Yeah, because then Kanye came.
And then eventually Kanye came.
Yeah.
And then even guys like Jay-Z were releasing bangers.
Yeah.
They were still having a great run, and then it was a good run for a while, and then after that, like 2000s, 2010, kind of was in and out because I was listening to older stuff, and then Drake hit the scene, Kendrick hit the scene,
Yeah.
J. Cole hit the scene. Like, oh shit, we got some people who can carry on the baton.
Yeah.
What about you? Was there any period where you would be like, where you were like, I love hip hop, I just don't love what's playing now?
Yeah, so I would say the 2000s leading up to 2010.
Oh, okay, so you had a longer stretch.
I was disaffected. But the cool thing was for me, because we had the internet,
Yeah.
I found artists from the 90s that I missed. Tribe Called Quest.
Yes.
Jay-Z stuff. A lot of older Jay-Z
Mobb
stuff.
Deep.
Mobb Deep. Yeah, a lot of these East Coast artists, even like a lot of the solo albums from the Wu-Tang, which I didn't listen to at that time. Yeah,
Chef Raekwon,
and going through all of those albums. So for me, that's kind of the dive that I went on.
Nice.
And I felt like it kind of almost reaffirmed my love for hip hop.
Right.
I'm like, oh, there's so much shit that I haven't heard. And to me, that was exciting, which made it easier for me as we moved into like the 2010s onward to get into newer hip hop.
Right.
Because then when I would listen to like Earth Gang or Jid or Mike, what's his name, Joey Badass, or Mitch Jenkins, like a lot of these artists that were considered like the new school.
Yeah.
It was easier for me to listen to them.
Yeah.
Because like my hip hop vocabulary was way larger.
Right.
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 It wasn't just one kind of hip hop I was okay with. I was able to listen to Mac Miller, a lot of these artists that I kind of like slept on.
Yeah.
I was able to jump back to and like
Right.
really pull from.
But I think that's the beauty of music, right? Is even and movies and books where it doesn't have to be good now. It just has to be good. Like I don't care if it's good now because if it's not good now, I'm just gonna throw something else on that's good.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It would be nice if it was always good, but it's not always gonna be good. I mean, even movies have a run where there's years where there's not great movies.
Yeah, Marvel did a lot of trash in between time in the middle of their run.
And if you even look at movies, I mean, how many real actors do we have? Like actual movie stars.
Yeah,
that's a dying breed.
Yeah, that's different now.
Right?
There's just too many stars.
How many Denzel Washingtons are there?
There's none.
I mean, we had one and we lost him.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, yeah, you got your Michael B. Jordans, and that's great.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Back then, you had a plethora of them. It's just times have changed.
Yeah.
Big time. Do you think, going back to Hip Hop Connection, do you think that was your stepping stone into the MCing world? Because you were so exposed on a daily basis to hip hop that you had no choice but to bring that inner passion out of you? Because if you were working anywhere else, you might have not been exposed like that, and it wouldn't have been on your mind so much. And maybe it would have been a hobby and not so much of a potential career path or even a, you know what I mean, right?
Well, for people that don't know us, when we were kids, we would make these, our version of these hood movies. Right? We would write out the scripts.
Yep.
We would create these characters. We would act out these movies.
Yep.
On the big ass camcorder on our shoulders and stuff.
Yep.
And then after the movies, we would do our own music videos.
Yes.
We would take one of our favorite songs.
We would mimic it and lip sync it.
Yeah, we would lip sync it, mimic it. And we were kind of TikTok before TikTok.
We were.
And that kind of made me understand that I could match the cadences of the artists like really easily.
Right.
And then once Hip Hop Connection came, it was really queasy.
Right.
It was Jason Jang. Shout out Jason Jang. First Fusion dude that I ever saw rap. And when I saw him rap, I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Because he would just come to the store and just freestyle.
Right.
There'd be like a breakbeat playing. He would just freestyle. He would do his like every DJ shit that he would do with his mouth and stuff.
And he's another one. Like he's a real hip hop guy.
Head.
Like he's a hip hop historian.
Yeah.
He can tell you about albums. And, like he knows the shit.
And he's got a catalog. If you go to Spotify, QUEEZI.
Check it out.
He's got like 8 albums that he's put out, and he's got a lot of good stuff on there.
Another person who has a genuine love.
Yeah, absolute love for hip hop, and seeing him rap to me was like, oh, if he could do it, I could do it. I have words.
Right.
And then I remember like the very first time that we all got together. Shout out to Dagamuffin as well. One of the greats. We had like a little crew that we roll with.
Yeah.
I remember Ian would be there too. Just a bunch of people. Ian. We would go to like basketball courts that night. There'd be like 12 of us, all with our little Hondas pulling up.
Yeah.
And
the good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. Passing around joints and stuff. And people would freestyle, and I'd be so intimidated. And one day I'm like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna drop one."
Right.
And I dropped one, and it was one of those reactions where everyone was like, "Ah!" And I was like, "Oh shit, okay, I got something."
You were the GIF before the GIF.
Yeah, that's what I felt like. Everyone behind like, "Oh."
Yeah.
That's what it felt like, and that is one of the like I think a lot of artists have this moment when they do something and everyone recognizes it.
It's the 8 Mile moment.
Yeah. It's that moment where you just realize like, "Oh shit, I can do this."
I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah, without knowing.
Yeah.
And then I did my first battle, and it was at the Tokyo Lounge.
Oh, I remember. I was there. I was there.
Dude, that was so back in the day.
That was upstairs.
It was upstairs.
I remember that.
And we had this battle, and I remember, basically the winner was based on who, like the crowd that yelled the loudest. Right? And there was this one guy who was really whack, but he had like 30 people with him, and they obviously yelled a lot.
Of course.
So I remember the first round I battled this dude, and this is when I knew I was really good. I battled this dude. He was like up and coming rapper. He came in all camouflage and stuff, mean mug and everything. And he comes and they ask, who wants to go first? And I'd be like, all you, man. So this guy goes, and I remember thinking to myself, this pre-prepared. He's not freestyling this.
Right.
Because none of it's about me.
He just memorized it.
Yeah, none of it's about me. He's just rapping about being mad at somebody.
Yeah, well, that's not.
And I was like,
that's not
okay. So when he's doing that, I'm kind of like tuned into the beat. I'm just like bouncing to the beat. I'm looking at the crowd and stuff. Like I'm not giving him any mind or anything.
Right.
And then it's my turn, and this is when the theatrics came. So they hit the beat. Shout out to Religion, Hayden Baptiste, who was the DJ that night. He's playing this beat, and I'm listening to the beat, and I'm like, okay. So I start rapping, and then I pull the biggest dick move. So we're face to face on the stage. I get off the stage. I go to the crowd and I stand with the crowd. And now I'm pointing at him while I'm battling him. And I'll never forget the look on his face, because the discouraged look on his face, I was like, oh yeah, I won.
Right.
And that's when you just got the crowd.
You were in his head.
And he stopped rapping after that. I made a rapper quit To me, that's
Damn.
props. And so we go through this battle, and like that night, I knew that
Right.
I'm one of them. Like I'm
That
one of the guys.
affirmed your.
Yeah, and because it just got, I never lost. It just kept going
Right,
that way, right?
right.
And then that's kind of what directed the music. But again, like the art of that, like coming up that way as a rapper, that doesn't exist anymore.
Agreed.
So a lot of these new rappers are approaching hip hop and making music based on whatever the trend is,
That's all it is.
in the moment, and it doesn't reflect songwriting.
You can go on YouTube, make a video, buy a beat online, and say something stupid for 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's a song.
And pay to get the algorithm to
Right.
recognize it and blow it up.
Right. I didn't even think about that.
And because that's really all it takes.
That's right.
Right? Which was one of the reasons why, we haven't really done that with the podcast yet, which is why we haven't really been able to like break through that
Right.
digital algorithm, but eventually that's going to happen. Just make sure you keep supporting, sharing, liking, subscribing. That's what we need at 90 Cell
Yes.
Infinity. So now there are artists obviously that give us great music. I think hip hop right now is in a really good place.
Yeah, I think it's in a good place. It's
Yeah.
not in a great place,
Yeah.
but it's in a good place.
Yeah, I think Kendrick set the bar really high last year.
Yes.
The run was crazy. The fact that he got nominated for 10
Yeah. Kendrick
awards,
had a year that,
it's kind of unprecedented.
especially in hip hop.
Yeah.
That's like a Taylor Swift run.
Right. This is, and again, the closest thing that I think
Or a
we've
Michael
seen
Jackson run,
is
you know what I mean?
Pac. Pac, the All Eyes
Yeah.
on Me run,
Yeah.
because Pac was viral.
Yeah.
Right. Everywhere you look, Pac was everywhere.
Right.
Right.
And Drake's run, his was a long but a stretched out. Run.
His is the LeBron run.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So
Like
so
he's
what-
got all the stats.
Right.
He's got all the numbers.
and his longevity.
And the
but
longevity
he
is-
he didn't have a lot in one. It was kind of like
Yeah.
where Kendrick has always been famous, but holy moly, he could do no wrong.
And the cool thing is,
I mean,
like,
he could do no wrong.
and the cool thing is,
And it's great.
because J. Cole's got an album that he's gonna put out,
I heard about that.
right? And I think Ghostface Killer's gonna drop another album
Supreme Clientele too.
too. I heard the first snippet of some of the music coming off of there, and
I
it
heard
sounds
the first single.
great.
Yeah. It's not bad.
Once upon a time, hip hop was considered a young man's game. This era of hip hop, I think, is reflective of the collective success of the culture, because so many legacy artists are still relevant.
That's true, and they've released a lot of work. I mean, we had Slick Rick release an album.
Shout
We
out
had
to
Nas
Ruler.
release an album. So
Raekwon.
Raekwon,
brought an album.
Yeah, Raekwon brought an album. So we're seeing a resurgence in veteran artists who be like, hey, we have a space too.
Yeah.
And like you said, with platforms like TikTok bringing their old music back, I think it's refueling them to be like, hey,
Yeah.
I just heard my song from 20 years ago. I can do that again.
Yeah.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but fuck it, try it.
And if
Shout out to
anything,
Will Smith. I mean, even if the album's no good, you released
and
it.
if anything, you'll get yourself some tour dates. You'll be able to travel a little bit, do your songs again.
And from what I'm hearing, even tour dates, I mean, people are getting paid.
And the thing is, the good thing is the
Like,
artists.
it doesn't have to be a big stadium.
Well, the
They're
artists
getting
don't
paid.
need labels. They don't need managers. They
Correct.
don't need any of
They're
that.
selling their own merch.
They can sell their own merch. They
Right.
can contact the venues directly.
Right.
Build those partnerships themselves. And a lot of these artists are just doing that.
That's
Just
pretty
saying, fuck it.
impressive.
We don't need the middleman.
No.
And shout out to, LL Cool J for setting the stage for a lot of
Right,
this.
right.
Because he really empowered artists with, the 50-year
True.
anniversary.
Yeah.
Gigantic show that was done in New York. Rock the
right.
Bells
Giant
put a lot of that
stadium.
together,
Yeah.
which is really dope because it kind of reinvigorated a lot of careers.
Yeah, it did.
But who would you say, for you personally, are your unsung heroes in hip hop? The ones that never got all the love, but you think are like, the gems.
And we're not just talking about one specific aspect of their
No, just your
career,
own personal
like not
unsung.
lyricists or
Yeah,
popularity.
just
or,
your under the radar ones.
Easy is very high, if not number one, because he made a huge impact on me musically.
Yeah,
And the fact that he didn't even write his stuff, but he still made such an impact, that's rare.
that's huge.
And he was through and through a gangster.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. You couldn't hide it.
And
AK-47s and stuff in
you know
the.
what I mean?
Fuck outta
And
here.
he went after like everybody was scared
Yeah,
of
he's
Suge Knight.
fearless.
This guy was not scared of
He was
anybody.
fearless.
And because of him and Ruthless Records, I mean, look at that tree. I mean, we could have an episode just on all the different branches that has come. So I think, and he's not appreciated in hip hop.
No, he's
I
not.
still don't. I still think to this day, and I think a lot of it is to do with the stigma, the fact that he had AIDS and the way he died. The Source, remember in 1985,
A lot of shame attached to
the first Source Awards that we saw.
Yeah.
When Biggie came out and the whole shit, and I think they gave him a award. They gave him a tribute award, but nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I remember
like,
that.
He
Yeah.
did something current, man.
Yeah.
But he got Eazy-E, Master P, of course, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tupac. I mean, how can I forget Tupac? Tupac. I mean, I actually shed tears when he passed.
But
away.
Pac is a legend. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, unsungs.
Well, I think Master P would be considered.
Master P is definitely an unsung.
I think even now he doesn't get the credit. Like,
Without a doubt.
People kind of like, oh well, yeah, he was a good businessman.
Yes.
No, actually, for me, he was a good rapper.
Yeah.
Like his lyrics.
He's very
hit me hard.
unsung. He's very unsung.
I'm not saying he's you know.
He's not lyricist of the year.
He's not Kendrick.
Yeah.
But he wrote his lyrics.
Yeah.
And you could feel what he was talking about, man.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Wow, you really got me.
Jay-Z.
Under the radar. The non-superstars.
That's tough.
For me, a really important one, Pimp C. Pimp C, the super important one.
That's a really good one.
Slow, cadence,
That's a really good one.
charisma.
Pimp C is a really good one.
Pimp C's the top at the top for me.
I think he was revered too late.
Way too late.
Like he
Way
should have
too
been
late.
celebrated when he was alive. Because
Oh,
he
without a doubt.
influenced a lot of rappers.
So many rappers, and he influenced me. Like I will proactively say, Pimp C has birthed some of my style. Because like I spit a lot of double time. Pimp C spits syrupy slow.
Yes, he does.
But the cadences that he uses are so sophisticated.
Right.
I always try to create cadences because like he figured out a way when you just hear his vocals. Like let's say you
Right.
just pull the beat and you just hear his vocals, you would automatically
That's true.
be in the pocket with him because
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Right.
The cadence is perfect.
Yeah.
So Pimp C is one of those for me.
That's a good one.
Big Boy is one of those for me.
Ooh.
Big Boy is super underappreciated,
He
super
is.
undervalued.
Because, Andre just takes the limelight. He doesn't even want to do it on purpose. But you're right. It's always on 3 stacks, right?
Which
Always.
sucks because Andre's
It's tough.
Andre's God level. Like
Yeah.
there's no question.
Yeah.
He's God level. But because of that, Big Boy gets a slight.
He does.
And he's one
like
one
the
of my goats.
Bastard stepbrother. I just thought of one. Fabulous.
Ah,
I love
right.
Fabulous. And he's appreciated as a
F-
lyricist.
yo, I love
But I mean,
Fabulous.
he's done a lot.
Super
man.
under the radar.
This guy can freestyle.
Big time.
I don't know if you've heard his freestyle
Yeah.
on Fridays with DJ Clue,
Yeah.
where he goes over old beats.
He's got bars.
He just knocks them out the park.
Yeah. And I would probably say my other unsung, which really is not an unsung, but
Yeah.
I kind of feel like is Scarface.
Yeah, that's a fair argument because he I think he gets a lot of acclaim from older the
Yes.
older generation, but not so much
The generation that came up with him.
right.
Yeah.
They forget about him.
Yeah, and for me,
So that's fair.
artists that really get me are the ones that have the really sophisticated cadence.
Right.
And
Well, he's definitely on top of that list.
yeah, and the way he uses cadences and the way he uses his voice.
Right.
So he actually plays guitar. Like
I didn't
he
know
actually
that.
plays the bass.
I didn't know that.
So he was talking about how when a lot of these songs were being produced, he was doing a lot of the production himself. Like,
Oh,
a lot of the music was him.
Why?
Um,
And Mike Dean did a lot of production.
Yeah.
Get a boys in Scarface.
Yeah, but he was instrumental in a lot of these melodies, right?
Yeah.
Um,
And there is.
there is.
Yeah.
There is. And Never Seen a Man Die, to me, is one of the most well-written songs. And I think it's a great example of how his voice is really an instrument on the song. And the way he uses it with the, he greets his father with his hands out, rehabilitated slightly, glad to be the man's child. Well, the difference is he's seen it last, out of jail for 7 years, and he's happy, he's free at last. Like, he really,
So true.
like, you have to move with his lyrics, right? He's carrying the song with the way he's using his
the way
words.
you're rapping that, it reminded me of DMX. DMX did that too a little
Big
bit, right?
time.
That.
Big time. Yeah, but the reason why this one hits so different for me is because Scarface is really good musicality.
Yeah.
Like, X is a rapper.
That's true.
right? Like Scarface has got.
He's multifaceted.
Yeah, it's so sophisticated.
Yeah.
Super
He's
unsung
not
for me.
just a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's way bigger than that.
Yeah.
And with all the health scares and stuff that he's been
I mean,
through,
he was
he's
on his
still
deathbed.
here.
And then I think his son gave him a kidney, right?
Gave him a kidney.
And he
Got a match and stayed alive. He had some heart issues and stuff, but he's still kicking, still doing his thing.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's one of those that's going to be appreciated more, unfortunately, when he's not here anymore.
Yeah. And he can be quite outspoken. Like he can talk some trash. If he doesn't like you, he doesn't like you.
Yeah, and I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Because it speaks to everything that he's made.
Yeah.
Like, I think people forget, that reunion album that Ghetto Boys did.
The Resurrection.
The Resurrection, and they had that song, The World is a Ghetto.
That's right. That was their hit single.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing music.
Yeah.
Like, they've never really missed.
No, and even if his album, The Fix,
Oh, geez.
it was a 5 mic. You don't see a lot of South artists have a 5 mic album.
His work with Kanye is really, really well received and well executed.
Guess who's back? What a collab. Scarface is a good one because you think on surface level that no, that's not right, but no, there is. He doesn't get as much.
He does not.
I would say Uncle Luke.
Oh yeah, that's a really underappreciated
Because I like
one.
Uncle Luke and I love 2 Life Crew. I love that music.
Yeah.
But they don't get the credit.
No, they don't.
I mean, because people see them, and just like you did, and I did. When you say 2 Life Crew, you automatically laugh, you giggle, or you're like, oh.
Shock value.
Because we know it was, the booty rap.
Yeah.
It was the girls in the
Oh
bikinis.
man, they said some wild shit.
But how wild is it now compared to some of the stuff?
I think it's still pretty wild, man. Like,
so?
okay.
I mean, you listen to some of the stuff Nicki Minaj comes up with.
Okay, sure.
And
I've actually
and Cardi B.
I would say Cardi B is super raunchy. I would say Sexy Red is super raunchy.
Sexy Red, thank you.
Yeah, they're super raunchy, sure.
Yeah.
But
I mean, don't get me wrong. Pop that coochie.
I mean,
That's
fuck Martinez.
yeah. Yeah.
I can't even read these lyrics.
Yeah, no. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Banned in the USA.
Yeah. No. 2 Life. They say some shit. Yeah. The thing with 2 Life Crew, which made it interesting, is the beats were so good.
I still listen to their songs on my. I love it. I love that. I always love that kind of music.
The mixing, mastering quality, and that level of bass,
and their enthusiasm when they rap. Brother Marquise, and Kid, Fresh Ice Kid, R.I.P. Yeah, both bad. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, that was.
And Uncle Luke had that really whiny, weird voice.
Yeah, he did.
Which is fantastic because it worked beautifully.
When he went solo, Scarred.
Oh, yeah.
They used the same beat from Come On Ride That Train, but it was sped up. And that's where we hear Trick Daddy for the first time.
Right.
And Trina, because they're on the remix.
That's why he's the HHC.
Yeah. Sometimes.
For those notes and tidbits, sometimes that's crucial. And so now that we're at this place in hip hop, 52 years in the making.
52 years, and we've I'm going to say when we were probably like 11, 12, so almost 34 years of our lives of that 52. So more than half of since hip hop has existed,
three quarters of our life
involved in it.
We've been involved in it. Yeah. We've been immersed in it, and now we can give back to the culture in this way. I think we did this in the first episode, and I think we have to do it again just to kind of re-solidify. And the answer, I think, might be different than the first episode. Top 5 dead or alive hip-hop artists. This is not lyricists.
Right. This
is the overall
our own
top 5 greatest of all time hip-hop artists. Who are you going with?
And before I say that, I'm sure the viewers are watching this and like, oh yeah, you guys are hip-hop heads, and we are to the core. But what makes this even more impressive is that we actually love other genres of music.
Yeah. Big time.
And so it's easy. You could easily say, well, that's all you guys listen to. Well, that's fine. No. I love pop music. Yeah. Old and new. Yeah. I love some rock. I love some alternative. I love some Motown. And we both are like that. Jazz. So
R&B, Motown, reggae, dancehall.
So for us to have this passion for hip hop and still like that, our passion for hip hop is just something very different. Because we're not looking at it through the tunnel. We're looking at it at its whole scope.
Yes.
So saying that, top 5 hip hop artists of all time. Wow. Tupac, Biggie. I know that's very cliche, but those are my two. Jay-Z, Master P, 50 Cent.
It's a good list.
Now I could have added a couple more there.
Yeah, for sure.
On any given day, that list could switch to a Lil Wayne.
Yep. I know. I get
You
it.
know what I mean?
get it.
Like,
yeah.
but anyways, your top.
So
five.
there's one that obviously had to be removed over the past couple years, and that would have been Kanye. Kanye, Once Upon a Time, had a place
Kanye would have been in my top 10.
in the top five.
Yeah. Easily could be in the top.
But if
10.
we're going with the top five overall hip hop artists for me, Pac.
Yeah.
I think he's a 90 till infinity. Top five.
Hands down.
Synonymous for both of us.
Yes.
Jay-Z, another one, synonymous for both of us. Jay-Z's got one of those runs that's unprecedented as well. And then I gotta go with Mos Def, aka Yasin Bey.
It's a good one.
He would be my third. Master P. It's gonna be in the list. We have three of the same. Three of the same pick.
You have three of the same.
And then the number five. Again, these are not in order. Just my top five. Would be Ice Cube.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a solid one.
Ice Cube is in my GOAT list all the time.
Mos Def, you know what? I would say Mos Def is very underrated.
Hugely.
He's an unsung hero.
Yes. Because he may not have a lot of albums,
Yeah.
but surprisingly, he has a lot of songs.
He does.
He's got a lot of
Under
just
both monikers.
songs that are out there.
May and
Yeah. And one of my personal favorite songs that Mos Def has done, which I still listen to on a regular basis, is Umi Says.
Okay.
Which is it's more of like you've heard it.
I think so.
The hook, he's like Umi says, shine your light on the world.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's a really, really wonderful song. But
I
yeah.
was just listening to Oh No the other day with Nate Dogg.
Ooh, that's a
He could have
banger.
and that was probably one of their bigger commercials.
And dude, Nate Dogg on that shit
The
is
beat,
so
the rapping.
good.
Yeah.
That's the one where Nate's like, "Oh no,
That's right.
Look at who they did in the back door." Oh
Right.
man,
Kind of like that Asian kind of music.
yeah,
The beat,
Pharaoh Monch is on it.
Pharaoh Monch is on it.
Yeah. Hallelujah, Pharaoh Monch,
That's
do
right.
ya?
That's right.
Maintain same main
Yeah.
mind, do ya? That whole era, Raucous Records era, Mos Def, Talib Kweli,
It's
Common,
impressive.
incredible. We have to mention it.
Yeah.
We're talking about hip hop in our lives. I'm not sure how it affected you in that time.
Not as much as you, because I think at that time in hip hop, you and I went different paths.
Yes.
I don't want to say commercial, but it was a bit of the more popular stuff, and you kind of went into this conscious realm of things.
Yeah.
Not all conscious, but you went, but then you I would listen to some of Mos Def, like that Black Star albums. You don't need to like conscious rap to like that album.
It's a great album.
And then Pharaoh Monch, right? Simon Says.
Yeah.
So yeah, but that reminded me of when I had the Duck Down records in the 90s with Helter Skelter and
I didn't listen to it then.
OGC.
Yeah.
And Smith and Wesson.
Yeah.
Right? And Black Moon.
And I couldn't get down to it then.
That was a collective.
Yeah.
So, different times.
And there's this. I just have to find this because I got to do it some just due. It's from their. Is it? Mos Def. Is this the one? No, it's not. But anyways, there's this Mos Def lyric, and I don't want to ruin it. That's the only reason I'm looking it up. Is it Respiration? I think Respiration is with Common, right? No, this is not the one. But this is pretty incredible. The new mood road high in the crowd, the metropolis, shining. Like who on top of this? People was tussling, arguing and bustling. Gangsters the Gotham, hardcore hustling. I'm wrestling with words and ideas. My ears is prick. Seeking what will transmit, describe, can apply the transcript. Like, to me, some of my favorite bars of all time.
Very impressive.
Super detailed cadence, the words, the picture he paints. To me, puts him in a top 5 list. Just
I can see
off
that.
of
I can see why.
some verses alone.
Right.
Just move me in a
And he
crazy
did
way.
a lot of damage in a very short span of time.
Yeah.
Right?
And both Black Star
Because
albums
there
are
were years
really,
where
really
he didn't
good.
release any album. He's almost like the Dave Chappelle of rap.
He is. And that's crazy because they're like best friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Because he's so great, but you get only bits and pieces of him.
If you get a chance, which
He's a
is
good actor,
which is
too.
another evolution of hip hop, is the hip hop podcasts. Tons of hip hop artists have podcasts.
Yes.
Chappelle has one. called Miracle Mile.
You told me about that.
And I would say for any hip hop fan, watch it because Most doesn't do anything with anybody.
Yeah.
But he's on every episode. It's Most Def, Dave Chappelle, Talib Kweli, sitting in Dave's little
Cleveland farm.
gas station turned into like a mini club.
Right.
And just random celebs in there.
Interesting.
So like there'll be an episode where they're talking, and then like David Letterman will show up.
Right.
And he shoots the shit with them.
Yeah.
And there's just random superstars that are just hanging out with them. Incredible podcast to watch. This is also an incredible podcast to watch.
It's probably the most incredible.
If you're a hip hop fan,
Yeah.
if you're a fan of good conversation, if you're a fan of laughing and enjoying the camaraderie of sharing
Having a good time.
your love for something that you value and appreciate.
I mean, the passion just oozes out of us. I'm sorry.
I think you
Pause.
I think it's
Shout out to Dave. I was just watching it today.
I think it's unavoidable.
Yeah.
And I
is.
think one, because we were talking about samples the other day, one segment we're gonna add to 90s Soul Infinity, which I think would be dope, would be whenever we do a song that has a sample, mention the sample and the artist,
Ooh, yeah.
so that if
That's
people
really
want to
good.
dig deep and find out,
That's really good.
they can go and do that.
Yeah, that's dope.
Because there's samples on hip hop songs that when you hear the original, you're like, God, the original is an amazing song.
Alite actually threw me a sample yesterday, and he goes, "Oh, you're gonna know this as soon as you hear it." And I'm pretty good with music. I couldn't figure it out, and I didn't Google it because I wanted to know, and I wanted to figure it out. And then he told me, and I was like, and then even after you told me, I had to take it. I had to listen to it. I was like, because it's very
subtle.
It's very
like
subtle.
when you hear the oh, it's like,
yeah, it's not like it's not like Puff Daddy and Can't Hold No.
Yeah,
Me
no,
Down.
no.
It's like the same song.
Yeah, I don't know who produced that. I don't know who produced You Know How We Do It. Who would it have been? DJ Pooh, maybe?
It would have been DJ Pooh was big then. Yeah, it would have been DJ Pooh, or it would have been
Who produced it for Cube at that time?
Ski.
Oh yeah, maybe EA Ski.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's use of that sample, and You Know How We Do It. If you find I don't know the original offhand, but if you find the original and you listen, you're like, man, this song's a banger.
It really is.
And that whole 70s, 80s era of music, hip hop just took and
It's true.
repurposed.
And
then
that
into a new
song is
music
from the
form.
Lethal Injection album.
Which another thing that makes hip hop so incredible, the reusing of old music to
Yes.
create beautiful new music,
Yes.
which really no other art form has done or can do.
No, and you're right, because when you listen to other genres of music, if anything, they'll do a cover version of the song.
Or an interpolation.
Right, but they're never going to do a sample. And that's almost unheard of.
Nah.
I'm sure there's something out there, but for the most part, it's not like what hip hop.
Specifically hip hop.
I mean, a lot of hip hop music was built on sampling. Right.
Without it, it wouldn't be a music.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Before we head out of here, I want to just take a second to shout out all the people that are watching and that
Yes.
have watched
Yes.
and that have liked and that have put in comments. We had somebody after the Memphis Bleak clip that we posted from our last episode. Somebody jumped in and said Jules Santana was the same. He said Cameron is his Adam Sandler, and I was like, ooh, that's a hot take. That's a hot take. Because Jules kind of does have his own career.
Jules was much bigger than him, but I could see yes. I can see that, yeah.
So that was a
I can see
that was a
that.
really interesting comment. Shout out to whoever left that comment.
I
That was
guess
funny.
you could say the same with Master P and Silk.
You
But
could.
then Silk was big on his own.
Silk had his
right?
own run.
Yeah.
Silk had his own run.
But no, yeah, the Jules and Cam, that
That was decent.
could you say that about Jay and Kanye? I mean, how where do we want to take this to?
Yeah, I think Kanye may have outgrew the shadow.
Right.
Um,
But where did the shadow come from?
You have to recognize the shadow.
Yeah, you gotta recognize the
And just as Jay-Z was the shadow
Right.
in Memphis Bleak's
Right.
career
No,
too.
that's a good one, Jules. That's a shout out to who said that.
Yeah, shout out to
That's
all
pretty
y'all
good.
that subscribe.
Yes.
When we get to 100 subscribers, whoever is the 100th subscriber, we do have a little merch win that you're gonna get from the 90s Soul Infinity podcast. Whether or not you smoke
Hit that button.
in your life, make sure you hit that button. And you can follow us on our TikTok. Shout out to everybody that watches the TikToks. They're starting to pop off a little bit. That's at its_high phrase HIGHPHRASE. That's how it is on TikTok. That's how it is on Instagram. That's how it is on Facebook. And you can follow me. It's_Alite ALITE. It's the same on all the platforms as well.
Follow. Great content, by the way. On all
Yeah, I
platforms.
try to put out a little bit of everything. Riz
You're
doesn't
gonna
do,
learn something.
Riz doesn't do social media
I
because
know.
he thinks that social media ain't shit.
That's right.
So
I'm too good for it.
So he's
if you wanna
gonna
be honest.
he's gonna stay off of it. Again, shout out to all y'all. We appreciate you tuning in. This is 90s Till Infinity. You want to hit up with something else before we go?
You know, if there's any albums that you want us to rate in the future, put it in the comments.
Good
We're
call.
open to suggestions,
Good call.
right?
Yeah, good
Yeah,
call.
so
That'll be
definitely.
fun. And if you
Yeah.
leave comments, we'll make sure that we shout you out.
Definitely.
Make sure you stay tuned in and talk
Definitely.
to us. It's Elite.
It's Riz, the HHC, and we're out.
Peace.